Master.
Oh, don't. All right. Well, that's on stream. That's at least on the recording, if not on the stream. Anyways, welcome to another character. Hopefully, the final character creation session. I think we might have said the last one was the final one, but this is more so the actual character sheets.
The last one is the final one, huh?
So I mean, but last time I thought that was going to be the final one, but we're recording this as well. So I'm in a little bit of
but don't hold your breath.
Yeah.
Just don't make any promises, really.
How long could this take? I don't want to jinx ourselves right now, but like, how long could this actually take?
How bad could it be?
We said that about character creation, and then we've spent like 2 hours per session, like the entire session, just trying to figure out one person's power.
Right, but that's because it's so that's like way more open ended than I think this stuff could be. Like, and also because those ones have to be they're open ended, but they also have to be constrained to the it has to be constrained so that it's realistic for gameplay purposes. This is like, you can have a backstory and like people can give you minor critiques on like, this sounds good or this sounds bad, but it's like a lot more just like, if it doesn't completely break everything, then you're fine. Like, you can't obviously like be the president or anything like that, but
well,
damn it, there goes the character arc.
Yeah.
The whole point of Pat's thing is that he is the president.
Oh my god. He was a school council president. That's different, okay?
You never specified that in the title.
Anyways. No, I did. Right. I definitely did, Yash.
It just said, "Get down, Mr. President."
If we want to, how do we want to do this? Do we want to, like, share our screens and then just go person by person to critique them? Or do we want to just, like...
Well, so we'll just start. I just want to know what each of you have so far. So, Nick, why don't you just go first?
Yeah, sure. I can share my screen to go along with that.
Okay.
I'm just gonna close out any tabs that are incriminating.
I'm not. I'm gonna leave them all open.
Damn. Brad's really gonna leave his black tar heroin eBay sales site
eBay
on.
Whoa, who uses eBay for heroin, Nick? Is this 2004?
Yeah. You didn't know? Anyways, can you guys see my screen? Also, how is the stream quality right now?
What the frick is this? Yeah. Dude, how do you have 3 athletics?
I haven't put anything in for any of those. That is not.
Yeah, I was gonna say you shouldn't have anything filled in for that stuff.
Also, if the stream is super laggy for like maybe the -1 person that's watching, please just say something in the chat. I'll try to keep checking it regularly.
Okay, fine.
I'm on it.
Wait, Josh, when did you post like a character sheet template?
Because god damn it,
pinned in, wasn't it?
Channel.
Yeah,
along with like 48 other documents though, so don't like.
It's near the top. You just have to. Sorry, go for it.
No, just go through. We'll get to mine when we get to mine.
Okay,
this is amazing.
If you take the one that's pinned and you just make a copy of it in your own like personal Google Drive, then you can just work off of that one. That's what I've been doing.
Yeah.
It looks fine to me. The stream.
Wait, sorry, 1 sec. I have to open my laptop to see yours because I'm on my phone.
Okay.
Maybe a little loud, but
my voice, everyone's voices, or I can change it on the fly. Everyone? Okay.
Not like nobody in here change it, just...
Yeah. On the stream, yeah. I can turn down everybody's.
So, did Yash leave
break
again?
What?
Did Yash go somewhere?
He went.
I'm trying to turn
on his computer,
stream, but it won't let me.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, you don't need to. I just wanted to see if anybody was watching the stream and if they were, how bad it was. Okay. I hope those decibel levels will be okay. And anyways, so yeah, I just filled out like all of the non-stat related stuff. Although doing so, Yash, I'm not sure if how you're. I know again. The only point of reference I have for these kind of tabletop RPGs is like Dungeons and Dragons. So there's some ways of character creation that involve like a point buy system where you have a certain amount of points that you could then drop into each of the main stats, or you could have it where it's just rolled and then you slot them into where they where you think they'd fit best. But basically what I'm trying to get at is that when I was creating my character's backstory, I sort of started to come up with an idea of what traits they would be better in. over others. So like the summary. I guess we'll start at the top. Oh God! Who entered a windstorm?
What was that?
That was Yash for sure.
What did I do?
I don't know. It sounded like we were in a wind tunnel for 0.5 seconds.
Yeah, so you ever get on a plane?
I mean, I can't say anything about that.
What does that mean? That's so much more ominous. Okay.
Well, see,
anyways,
if I'm on a plane, it's illegal to have your phone open. So
that's not true. If you get to cruising altitude, you can take your electronic devices out. Yash, what the hell?
Nick, I'm not trying to crash the plane.
Have you been on a plane before? Like I'm worried about that part. Like, has this man been on a plane before?
How do you think I came to America on like a bus?
On a boat.
I thought you were born in America. Were you born in India?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Well, we learned something new.
Uh-oh.
Anyways, so I decided that my cape name would be Lifeline. I think that's pretty apt and fitting for the power.
That's nice.
So okay. I think that sounds pretty good. My civilian name is Richard Cheyenne, and I put in the rogue alignment, but it sounds like that was not something that you were down with.
No,
so I can just change
you can't
that to
be a rogue.
Okay,
like,
but what if he just does it for money,
like
though?
Just normal people.
Okay.
You're still a villain.
Okay.
Like rogues are just not involved at all. Like they don't use their powers like in any sort of like kind of fights or anything. Like they just are like normal people.
Wow. Okay, editing this, I think my laptop is starting to reach some of its own personal limits because I am typing this stuff in and like 5 seconds later the text appears on the screen.
It hasn't even appeared on Discord yet.
So yeah, I think it's a combination of me sharing my screen on Discord and also streaming and recording everything. So please bear in mind the stream hopefully isn't lagging. It's just that my computer is chugging like a motherfucker right now. Since we still haven't landed on a name for our faction or whatever, our contracting organization, I just called them Hush. I thought that sounded cool. I didn't really have much of a justification for it. Maybe like Hush Money kind of thing.
Rule of cool is fine.
Yeah, so cool that could be it. I'm also down to change it. I don't really have strong opinions one way or the other on that. I put my age as 45 just because I thought that'd be interesting to have an older person on the team. I don't know what ages you guys put yourselves as, but I thought that was like old enough to be like different from 20-somethings. Yeah, but like not.
The interesting thing is that like your character's 45, and I think Pat's is like 16.
13.
I think his is like 19.
It's like, yeah. What? No, I thought he was still in high school.
Is he
still? Was the president in senior year.
Yeah, so he has to be 18. Which, again, it's nothing about what Pat is setting up for himself makes sense because it's the end of his senior year in high school. He literally could only be at the tail end of his senior year and graduating. He's going to have to do so many backflips. Like he could. There is a possibility that he could fail all of his finals and then go into like a remediary senior year, I guess. And I guess maybe that would work. I guess there are ways this could work out now that I'm talking about this more.
He's like going on these gigs with us, and he's like, "Sorry guys, I gotta go study for the SATs."
That's basically Spider-Man in every comic he's ever been in.
That is true.
Yeah, that's just Spider-Man.
He's just Spider-Man, but like evil.
That's
a really interesting thing to think about is like a villain, like who like in the middle of them like beating up something. Oh, sorry guys, I gotta go. SAT time. I gotta tutor people.
Sorry guys. Yeah. Holy shit,
curious.
Brad, you subscribe? Wait, it didn't make the sound notification. Oh, I haven't enabled sound alerts. Yeah, that's probably on me.
Wait, what's your Twitch channel called?
Dante 5050. I post in announcements in the Cave Discord every time I stream. It's all there.
There you go.
Why, thank you, my king. And I got an emote thanks to your subscription.
Wow,
that's pretty nice. So I got more emotes to play around with.
Pay me money.
Oh yeah. I'll give you a cut of that
$0
subscriber money. Yeah.
Nice.
Anyways, My period civilian, I thought, and it'll make more sense when I start going to the backstory, but basically he just doesn't want to draw attention to himself, so he wears, like, very plain, single-tone colored clothing, and he's got early signs of balding and a prominent beer belly, but he's got, like, thick arms. He's got, like, thick, meaty arms. He could throw a good haymaker, and that kind of stuff. So... Oh, wait, I actually did just get the notification, but that was for a follow? What the fuck is going on? I'm very confused. Anyways, so that's what he looks like in his civilian clothes, and then the only difference is that when he's costumed, he just wears, like, the comically cliched, like, ski mask to cover his face, and then some form of reflective vest or other bright piece of clothing on top of his regular clothes.
But why?
And I was sort of thinking... this could be, like, it could be more of, like, a situational thing. Like, sometimes he'll wear, like, a construction, like, worker's outfit to make himself brighter, or sometimes it'll just be, like a road worker's, or, like, maybe, like, a cyclist uniform or something. But the reason why is that it would make him, more easily visible, and then possibly more, people might choose to target him first. It's basically like a subliminal form of, like, mind aggro of, like, oh, this guy's, like, the fucking brightest and weirdest looking one in the room. Maybe I'll go for him first. I don't know if it'll work.
Is the one that should not aggro.
No, he has to get the line of sight. He has to get the line of sight on people. So he'd want them to come at him so that he can set up the ranger behind them and then suck their life out.
I always picture it as, like, you basically are just sneak around until you're, like, they're in between you and you called it a ranger? Between you and your ranger.
Oh, yeah. No, raider. Right. Sorry, I said ranger because that makes way more sense than a raider.
Yeah, it's the raider.
Fuckers.
I just call him a ghost.
I much prefer that as well. And then there's
literally
power.
A dead guy.
Perks and flaws aren't there yet. Reputation isn't there yet. Trigger event is just copy-pasted from the doc. And then we get down to history.
Can you read that out loud? It's really small on my screen.
The history? Yeah. So, Richard was from one of the more rural communities in Michigan. When he triggered, he was 15 and didn't have many plans for the future, with his most likely future work involving him taking up his father's flagging auto repair shop. After triggering, his friends wanted to help him, but nothing they tried worked, as he completely shut himself off from the world. Eventually, his parents kicked him out, being unable to stand seeing him locked up in his room vegetating day in and day out. They put him on a bus headed to Detroit and told him not to come back until he made something of himself. Part of him wanted just to kill himself and be done with it all, but an even bigger part of him thought that he didn't deserve the easy way out, as he saw it. Upon arrival, he managed to find a minimum wage job at a gas station, proceeded to rent out the lowest income housing he could find. Everything he's done or hasn't done since then has been a twisted form of penance for the action that triggered him.
Wow.
I like
and so
it.
his personality builds on that. Lifeline hates himself. He's gotten better at hiding this over the years, if only to save himself from the sympathy and pity of the few peers that he sees regularly. He picked up a pastime of underground pit fighting as another form of penance, which has also given him the decent brawn that he has. Sometimes he'll heal his opponent with the legendary Shadow Raider and hurt himself in doing so, just for the masochistic thrill. If he needs to heal himself after being attacked, he will oftentimes reverse the damage after the foe has been restrained, as he thinks it's what he deserves. He never kills or uses guns, but is so desensitized to violence that he won't raise his voice against his peers if they choose to do so. In a way, he envies their ability to do such things easily, and without, like, a second thought. So,
there's two things that are really funny to me. I mean, I think it's good overall. Okay. The first thing is that his parents sent him to Detroit to make something of himself. That's just mean. They just hate him, Jesus. And the second thing is just, I mean, like, it could still make sense, but outside of New Jersey and Oregon, everyone, it's like all gas stations are self-serve. So he probably wouldn't see any peers if he was the guy working at the gas station, because he'd just be in, like, the booth.
Yeah, I meant like the people who lived at whatever apartment place he lived at.
Okay, gotcha.
It's like landlord or whatever.
Very cool.
Or the people at the pit fights. Yeah.
That part's also funny to me, but, like, I get it. It's just the description made it seem like he's just like I don't know. Like, I didn't really picture him pit fighting, but this definitely changes how I see him.
Yeah,
I think it's
yeah.
good. I like it.
It sort
It's
of came together as I wrote it, so but I'm happy with how it turned out. So
I do
should
have
I
one more
roll
question
the
though.
stats? Sure. What's up?
So I am curious about like the pit fighting, how that fits his character, because he doesn't seem to like to hurt other people, right?
I was
Um,
shocked.
yeah, he likes to get hurt, right? That's the whole thing. So it's less about him hurting others as it is them hurting him.
So he
But he
just goes
still,
in and loses.
well, I mean, I think sometimes he'll win just to take the money, but like he gets he gets off from the pain of it, I guess. But yeah, he'll probably lose his fair share of fights as well. Um,
Okay.
or just goes in, yeah, or just goes in for the thrill of it, and then if he loses or wins, that's whatever. Um, but also, like, I just put that in to also co-opt the idea that because I feel like he should have some fighting ability outside of his power. Um, so like I felt like giving him some kind of muscle would be good. Obviously, it's not great muscle because he's got a fucking fat beer belly, but like
That's just
he's that type
insulation. It's
of
just
brawler
padding.
that just has a sheer amount of weight to him that like he just throw heavy punches.
He
And
has
just
old man strength.
exactly, yeah. That's what I was going for with this guy.
Old man strength? What the hell is that?
It's a guy who can down a six pack and then like toss a fucking tree, that kind of strength.
I don't know any old
Yeah.
men that can do that. I
I
do
don't
know
know.
some guys that are like what you described, but like the sheer mass. Like you just
Mhm.
know, like if you hit them, like nothing will happen. Like
Yeah.
they'll just tank your fist. Like, but do you think he's a little too old for this? Like, I mean, like not too old to be on the team, but like to be 45 and be like a brawler. Like that's pretty old, right? To like be like a fighter. Like if
Yeah,
you're like
he
45,
just
any wound you get's like danger.
yeah, and I mean that's part of it is like he wants that, right? He wants to. He doesn't necessarily. And that's something that can be. Oh Jesus Christ,
Ah,
Josh, your mic, please, I beg you.
Yash,
Just-
please
I
get your
can't- I-
shit together.
There's literally nothing I can do. It's either this or my laptop just cuts out and I can't hear anything.
What did you just do to your mic? Did you suplex it? Like, what happened?
No, it's like it. You ever have it like where like your headphone jack kind of like if it like if it you have to like kind of turn it like the right way to
Oh,
kind of
yes.
Oh
like,
yeah,
the
yeah,
sound
yeah.
all come through. That's basically what happens.
So
Like,
is
I
it
have to,
that
like,
your
adjust
is it
it.
that your earbuds are broken or is it the headphone jack?
No, it's the earbuds. So I have a pair of headphones that I borrowed from my dad that broke, and then I have a pair of headphones from like 7 years ago that has like the headphone jack kind of is shit. And I have these pair of like Apple earbuds that my mom threw away that also has like a shit headphone jack. So yeah, that's kind of where I'm at right now.
Tragic.
Yeah. Yeah. Where were we?
you were talking about how he's an old man strength.
Oh yeah. So he doesn't. I think something that could be gone into is like how, and I try to detail that kind of at the beginning where like he does want to die, but he doesn't want to just take the
Duh.
easy way out. So like in a way he's kind of looking for like some kind of glorious death, but like he doesn't really understand how to do that. So he just keeps doing this fighting ring stuff and like just staying on the download and staying out of everyone's way. And then I could imagine him joining this this corporation or this group, sort of just be like, yeah, I have a power that could be useful, I guess, and if it puts me up against dangerous opponents who could then possibly kill me, then get paid for it at the same time, then I'll do that, I guess. He's sort of like a, I don't know. I definitely realized as I was writing this, there was a episode of Critical Role where one of the main characters was like mind controlled for a while, and then after the fact they got back with the group, and then one of the first things they did was they went to a fighting pit. They started to beat the shit out of their opponent, and then they stopped, and then they just lost hard, and that was their form of like repenting or whatever. And I thought that was really edgy, but also really cool. And I just wanted to kind of emulate that with this character. So, yeah, I think that's generally my thought process on how they would join up. And like, yeah, they could get hurt, but that's like very okay with them, I guess.
Okay.
If that makes sense.
Nice.
Okay, so let me go over then a few things for like how we fill out the sheet.
Yeah. I'm really curious. I don't know. I've like never seen a sheet like this, so.
So yeah, this is different from other games. It was a little confusing.
It's not like other games.
We're gonna use the Weaverdice light rules instead of the regular ones. Okay, so the one thing that's weird is I can't find morale on this sheet, and it's something that's described in the rules. So we might just like add that in ourselves later.
It sounds like this guy's at like -10. Wow. It doesn't look good.
Probably not.
Like you're already fucked.
Yeah.
Okay, so the way like conflicts are resolved in Weaverdice is an n times a d6 plus x. So character skill is what n is. So that's like the amount of dice you get to roll.
Yep.
And then you get a bonus based on x, which is a relative stat. Okay, so you can see the stats. There's 7 categories: brawn, athletics, dexterity, wits, social, knowledge, and guts. So you have 21 points basically to distribute among these.
Okay, right? So we do a point by system. 3.
Yeah, so average 3. You can do maximum 5, or doing like you can do like 1. Going to 0 basically means you're like crippled or like disabled in some way.
Okay. Like if I had 0 knowledge, I couldn't speak. Like I wouldn't have the ability to talk, kind of.
So if you have a 0, you basically have to roll to do normal things, like climb the stairs. Like you'd have to roll.
Oh my god,
that was amazing.
Yeah. So so to do something like extreme, you have to like justify it to me, like why you would have like a 5 or like a 0. So I forget where I saw it, but it's like a 5 is like Olympic level, like if it was like athletics or something, right?
Yeah.
Like you're like a professional. So like you have to explain like why you would be that good at whatever, right? So yeah, that's how the point distribution works. So 3 is like the average, right? Like when you distribute it evenly. So for character skill is the amount of d6 dice that you use, and then plus the relevant stat. So if you have if one of your stats is above a 3, you get an extra +1 for each point that it is above 3. So like if you have 4, you get an extra +1. 5, you get +2. And if it's below 3, it's -1 for each below 3. So then you'll get -1 if you have a 2, and then -2 if you have 1 point in that stat. Okay. So that's how that's how just conflicts are resolved. So it's a little different than D&D, unfortunately, because I really wanted to do like nat 20s and stuff like that, and I was trying to see if I could find a way to combine them, but it was just like over my head. So we're just gonna do it the actual way. In fact, not even the actual way, like the basic beginners, like Weenie Hut Junior way. So,
I mean, I thought that sounded cool. It's different, obviously, but I think that could lead to some interesting ways to resolving things. So
the difference from like normal ones is you take the highest thing. Like it's not like a combination of like adding them up. It's like you take the highest roll you got, and then you add the like the +1 for like the relevant stat.
I see. Okay, so you roll. So like if I have a 3 in brawn, I would roll 3d6, pick the highest one, and then add nothing to it because it's 3. Is that what you mean? You said n times a d6 plus x, right?
Yeah. So the stats. So you're almost right. The difference is the character skill is what determines the amount of d6 that you use. So skills are a little different. So we basically have to kind of like design skills ourselves.
Oh god, no! It's gonna be fucking powers all over again. Are you shitting me?
No. No, hold on.
Uh-oh.
It's not. That's not what it is. What I mean is like there's no like list you choose out of. Like you have to say like here. Let me find the example. It's like
do we have to make our own up?
It's more like first aid. Like it's like that kind of thing. Like I have EMT training or something like that. It's not like I can do a triple, quadruple backflip kick, right?
Okay.
It's
okay.
just
So
like
it's
things that you
grounded
know.
things. Yeah, grounded things like that are just normal human stuff that you could.
So here's an
specialize in.
example. Let me just read the blurb. So each Weaverdice character has things that they are particularly good at, either naturally or through training and practice. Each character can have a number of skills equal to their knowledge stat. So that's what knowledge is. That's why knowledge would be like important.
Okay.
Because the amount that you have there determines, the amount of skills you can have. A character's skills aren't chosen from a list, but are rather words or phrases that represent a character's abilities or approaches. So here's an example. So Deirdre has 2 knowledge, so she can have 2 skills. The character is a doctor, so the player chooses healing hands for the first skill. So that's just the name she chose. So the player and the GM decides. This gives +2 dice to rolls where Deirdre is trying to heal another character physically, and +1 to rolls where Deirdre is trying to calm someone down or otherwise non-physically heal. It's like a Nicole kind of thing. The player can try to convince the GM that the skill applies to other scenarios later during play. For the second skill, the player chooses cheer, which is really dumb. The player and GM decides that this skill gives +2 dice to rolls where the character is trying to stay happy or cheer someone up, and +1 to rolls where Deirdre tries to encourage another character.
Why is that dumb?
So you choose like a skill that your character would have. Like for Nate's character, maybe like filling gas, right? Is like a skill.
+1 to rolls where you fill gas.
Yeah.
Is that gonna come up?
If it's like specifically like we have to fuel this like airplane, Nick would get like a +2, right? And he has to like if it's not that, right? Not that clear cut, like Nick has to convince me why it'd be relevant, like why it'd be like a +1. So you write like your specific skill based on the knowledge, like that's the amount you can choose from, and you come up with what fits your character, like what like 2 skills or 3 skills or whatever you have, and then that then adds to the amount of dice you roll during like a conflict roll. So, for example, just using Deirdre again with her stupid things. So,
what is so bad about cheer? Roll. Hold on, I'm not.
Yeah, what like? Do we all?
It feels like a waste of a skill to me when you could have something much cooler. Like,
what do you mean? You
help.
Like there are look. You have to fill out roles in any RPG, and somebody's got to be the healer, right? If somebody's going to be the healer, they might as well use skills that help out their teammates.
But cheer also just falls under her healing hands ability. That's the +1 is like healing someone non-physically. So it's kind of the same as cheer. So cheer's kind of like a waste when it's already kind of covered by her first ability.
Okay. That's different than like the concept of cheering people up being a waste of time. So
yeah, it's I can't think of the word, but it's not really necessary. It's already covered. So
that's fine.
Let's use her as an example again. So for her role, let's say she is trying to, like someone has gotten shot, and she's trying to like stop the bleeding, right, and like save their life. Yep. So it'd be a 1d6 normally, but because this is directly relevant to healing hands, it'd be a 3d6 because it gets a +2 modifier. So she rolls 3 d6s, and then at the end, that would be like probably like a knowledge or a dexterity. Let's put it as knowledge. So if she had like she has 2 knowledge because she only has 2 skills. So it'd be 3d6, and then 2 is actually less than 3, so she'd actually do -1 to whatever she gets. So that kind of sucks. But that's how it would work, basically.
Okay.
Does it make sense to everybody?
Yeah, so it sounds like skill is the N in this scenario, and then the +X is the modifier on the attribute.
Skill adds dice, and then the stats are the modifier at the end, whether you get an extra point or lose a point.
Yeah, okay. In that case,
so that's how... Yeah, go ahead.
I think I'm ready to set up my stats then. So I have how many? So it's 3. Let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So I have 7.
Okay, just real quick, I'll go over what each thing is, just like for everybody's, just for everyone's on the same page. So Brawn is feats of raw strength, strength of most melee attacks and thrown weapons, breaking holds, like someone's kind of got you in like a hold, carrying something, or moving comfortably in heavy armor. Athletics, so that's stamina, fitness, whole body movement. Running, jumping, holding breath, physical endurance during heavy activity, parkour, agility, landing safely from jumps, maintaining balance. Dexterity is finer physical movements, hand-eye coordination, and initiative. Strength of some melee and most ranged attacks, reload quickly, craft things, perform first aid, find stuff in belts/bags promptly. So athletics isn't usually for like fighting. It's not like for hitting people.
Yeah.
So brawn would usually be for like hitting people. But if you're using like martial arts, then that might be a dexterity instead. Right. But like anything like archery or like shooting someone would be dexterity. And it's like how fast you can reload, like it says, perform first aid, find stuff in like bags promptly. It's like quick draw, sleight of hand, that kind of thing. So wits is mental quickness and perception. So spot and listen, sensory abilities in difficult conditions, pure mental task completion time, reflexes and reaction times, response time. So I think that's pretty self-explanatory. Social is interacting with others, projecting an image. So you communicate effectively, lie, win confidence, tease information out of subject, seduce, intimidate, or put on a face. Pretty that explains itself. Knowledge, breadth of knowledge and skill base. So it's the effectiveness of complex skills such as programming, medicine, martial arts, breadth and depth of ability in various skills, recall, piecing together information, and knowledge of languages. And then the last one is guts. This one is real important. So guts is raw physical and mental toughness and resilience. So durability, withstand mental or emotional assaults, ability to keep emotional and mental state stable over time, keep fighting when heavily injured. So guts is important because that's like how your health works, essentially. 1 second, let me just find the thingy.
So we're working on My Hero Academia rules where you could be bleeding the fuck out, arms broken, but if you believe in yourself hard enough, you can keep fighting a little harder.
Well, if you have cheer on your side, then maybe. Really, what it is though is your guts is basically like your HP or like your lives in like Mario or whatever. So, 1 sec. Let me turn the page. Okay, so a character's health is tracked in chunks called wounds. Each character, like you can see that on your sheet.
Yep.
Each character has a series of wound slots. If a character has filled more wound slots than their guts score, they must roll against unconsciousness or death. So it'd be useful to have a high gut score for that kind of thing, right? Because that's like how many, lives you get basically in a fight.
Right.
Successful attacks or other harmful effects, such as falling rocks or sticking a fork in a power socket, deal wounds based on the type and severity of the harm. So when a wound is dealt, 2 things happen. A wound slot is filled with the appropriate severity, and concurrently a wound effect of the appropriate severity and type is rolled and applied to the character. Some powers or wound effects may deal either extra effectless wounds, so like 2 wounds but there's no effects, or extra wound effects without the wound itself. So like you might get like not just like blind but also like
so I could fill out like this chart has like wound status and debuffs. I could see it where it would fill out debuffs but not have anything in the status or wounds part of it. Just had like another debuff added in there. Kinda.
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah, I honestly don't know why there's status and debuffs. I'm not sure. Oh, okay, wait. I think status just is... Sorry, my sheet is like kind of like... So wounds is just a category name, I think. It just shows like how much it's healed, I think. Because there's a lot of info on like actually like how wounds are like dealt and like where they would go and stuff. I don't think that's really necessary right now. You just need to know that guts is relevant for this reason. because wounds get affected by guts, and knowledge is important because that's how many skills you get.
All right. Well,
okay, so
yeah, I think even without just generally reading the names, I think I filled it out as you were typing it, but I think the stats that I've put in are good, and it should fill out to the number that you said earlier. I think 7. It should be 7 times 3, right? So 21 points.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. So I put myself at 4 brawn, 2 athletics, 2 dexterity, 3 wits, 3 social, 3 knowledge, and then 4 guts. So I took 1 out of athletics and I took 1 out of dexterity to then add 1 to brawn and to guts. So that should actually give me a -1 in athletics and a -1 in dexterity, and then the opposite for brawn and guts. Just because, based on what I was describing my character as, I think that would fit. Does that sound right then? Hello? Has Yash died? Hi. I think Yash has died once again.
How could this happen?
It seems to happen a lot. I thought it would have been the shitter here. Because my fucking laptop shitting the bed, but apparently not.
Okay, it's giving me time to do my character sheet.
Okay. Yeah, that's fine.
I did come up with everything. I'm just filling the sheet.
Yeah. Yash, are you alive? We can't hear your mic at all. You're going through another hurricane.
You can't hear me still?
Oh, you're back.
Okay, now you're fine. It just occasionally sounds like you're rubbing a wool sweater over a microphone.
No wool here. Sorry, I don't really know what to do otherwise.
Okay.
You're doing your best, and that's all that matters.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, pretty much. All my stuff is just shit. Okay, so the one thing I'm questioning, Nick, is social. So, because your character doesn't really seem to he has 2 friends, it seems like, or 2 peers. Right?
Yeah.
It seems like he's always kind of a loner.
Yeah, I could go -1 on social, but I don't know where I would put it back into. Where would that extra point go?
Maybe, or
I don't think
what kind of knowledge, what kind of skills do you think he would have?
He would have auto repair skills and handed, I guess but even his hand-to-hand combat skills are very basic, just because he's purely basing his strength off of his raw, he just hits really hard. He doesn't think about how he hits. It's the difference between a monk and a brawler, right? Brawler just hits things real hard. Monk tries to place their punches accurately so that even without hitting so hard, they can do a lot of damage just by hitting weak points. I don't think that this character would do that, So, I guess,
you think he's got wits though? You think he's perceptive?
Not really. That's why I kept them at average, because I don't think they're necessarily deficient, and that's why I also included he's gotten better about hiding his self-hatred over the years. He can talk to people, and I think that's how he can maintain coworkers, and he could go to a bar after a pit fight and just be hanging out with the boys or whatever, having a beer and stuff like that. They just so they don't
he does have boys.
He does have boys, mostly from the fighting pit.
Okay,
but
all right, that's good enough.
Yeah, so I think everything else is pretty suitable. Yeah. So then from there we go into the skills section.
Yes. So you have 3 skills. So
what do you get rid of one of these table sections. Something related to his brawn, I would think. Something
it's not really a skill though.
Yeah. So I'm not. Maybe something called clothesline, or you could just
maybe you could maybe put that as a skill, but I don't know.
Element's not a skill to his face
specifically or something.
Yeah. Let me see if I can remove this row. So I can only add the 3. I don't know if you guys have any ideas. I'm all ears.
So this is stuff that's completely unrelated to your power.
Yeah. You can have it.
Kinda.
It's not a move that you have with your powers or anything.
Yeah. It's just related.
You can do it back. Game Baker.
it's related to the life I live.
Yeah, yeah, exactly. So it's something you're either naturally good at or you became good at through training and practice.
Mm-hmm.
Self-loathing. Immune to insults. I don't know.
Yeah.
Something like that.
So that could
That's
be
not
maybe
really...
like a buff to
I don't know if I'd put that as a
like
skill.
that could be a buff to social roles against like threats or what's it called? Threats
Intimidation.
or intimidation, yeah. Something like that.
Okay.
I don't know. I don't know how useful that would be in whatever environment we're going into, but I could see utility in it. Or intimidation roles and threats and
Do you
stuff
think
like
part
that.
of that is because he got kind of like, intimidated into kind of going hunting and doing the stuff that he didn't want to do, and it caused this?
Yeah, that could be part of it. I was thinking more along the lines. I was thinking more along the lines of what Kyle and Brad were going on. I think where he's just like, there's nothing they can say that can hurt him more than he already hurts himself. So, like,
That was so edgy.
This is. I am going maximum edge on this character. You don't even know.
This is like a continuation of my story, right? Like I wrote the trigger. Like this is messed up, man. I don't know. I didn't really think I didn't plan out the guy's whole life, but this is just sad.
All right, I'll go with that one for one of them. Thick skin. And what are these? I'm assuming these dots are representing the plus number for it. So maybe do you think
I think just don't pay attention because I don't think those are relevant in the light rules. I think those are for regular.
Oh, okay.
So we don't use it. It's just a +2 or +1 for ours.
Oh, well, do we have to decide if it's a +2 or +1?
No. Okay. So the way that works is, if it's a situation that is exactly related to a skill, you get 2 extra dice, right? So it's you get 3. If it doesn't exactly fit, but it's related, then you get 1 extra. I don't know what that. You have to explain to me why you think it's related.
Okay, and then that would
you
give
have to
it
make a case for why you think.
Argue that.
Honestly, I don't even know what situations this would come up in. You have to tell me when you think it's relevant.
Yeah.
But yeah, then you can. So you don't choose now. It's just when you're doing it. You have to
I understand. Yeah.
And then that'll be the modifier.
Gains dice.
So you can just delete those circles or whatever.
Yeah. Gains dice against threats or intimidation attempts from opponents.
You don't have to write it like that. Just write hard to intimidate or something like that. You don't have to write gains dice.
Well, this thing takes 5 years to type
inherent.
out anything, so I'm just gonna let it happen. And
Nick, I don't think it's just your computer, because I'm trying to type on a copy of the sheet too, and it's so.
Is
I'm
Google
having 0 issues with it.
Okay?
Yeah.
Yeah, that would be very weird if Google was for some reason just shitting the bed. I think it's just that our laptops are shitty, Brad.
You guys are bonding over this.
Okay. Alright, so second skill. What else pertains to his life? I mentioned
Boxer.
Auto mechanic. Yeah, boxer could also be a thing. Boxer would be the most straightforward one where he gains dice when he's doing hand to hand or yeah, I guess hand to hand combat. He could get dice from. Would that work?
Wait,
Boxer.
Do you think instead of thick skin, being for insults or whatever, do you want to make it more he's kind of unflappable? He can just take hits without being kind of so not just trying to intimidate him or telling him his mom was fat, but instead he's a fighter, right? He takes hits and that's what he likes to do. Right?
Yeah,
So,
but I could see that more as a separate.
Or something.
Are you saying put that on top of or in replacement of? Because I feel I could just have that as a different skill entirely. Is that he is physically?
Well, I would have boxer be he's good in close up, one-on-one fights.
Yeah.
And then thick skin is I would just maybe instead of like doing just because like how often are people gonna like intimidate him like in his life? I guess.
And that's up to you, man. You're the DM here. You create the scenarios.
It sounds like a really possible thing when we're fighting people to the death or like getting involved in crimes.
Yeah. No, I don't mean fight like in the game. I mean in his actual like life until the game starts. Like, do you think people
fights
kind of,
people for money? I don't know.
Yeah, he's surrounded by like a jeering crowd at all times.
Yeah, that's what I mean, right? It's like it's like not just like intimidation like as a whole. It's like even if you just like hit him, right? Like it's like he doesn't really like it doesn't throw him off, basically.
It
you know what I mean?
like you're being offered like a 2-for-1 here, Nick. Like like the thick skin is literal and mental.
Okay.
Yeah,
like at the same time.
I'm trying to say.
So that sounds good to me.
Cannot be thrown off by like opponents, basically. Like by
cannot be thrown off his game.
Yeah, sure.
Sounds perfect.
By opponents easily. Okay. Now let's see how many years it takes to type itself in. Okay, so that's thick skin. Boxer is gonna just be that he's good in one-on-one fist fights, essentially.
Yeah, but like maybe like one-on-one kind of like brawls rather than just like fist fights. Or I mean, fist fight works too.
Okay, so I'll do that, and then the last one. I'm trying to think if there's something that isn't related. I guess I'm thinking the third one could be related to his auto repair skills, because I feel like he does have those to some degree.
He works at a gas station.
I was thinking of one of those places that was both a gas station and a repair shop, like the for one place.
So he's like a mechanic.
So he could be like their mechanic.
You really should have said that.
I should have said that.
Really
I had it in my head better than I wrote it down. I should have elaborated on that. I just didn't. I guess I just didn't want to write this
for NASA saying they're a mechanic.
It's not rocket science. I mean, I guess it is, but like, come on. Okay.
I was rewatching Kim Possible, and her dad is literally a rocket scientist, and her mom is a brain surgeon.
Yeah, that's the joke.
I didn't remember that until I watched it again, and I was like, oh wow.
Yeah.
That's why they have such high standards for her.
I mean, it makes sense that she's like a superhero.
Because her younger brothers are these
idiots.
They're like engineering geniuses.
Wait, they are?
Yes. Didn't you say you were watching the show? They build rockets and stuff for fun.
Wait a minute.
The first episode.
Holy shit! Why?
I don't remember if her parents know about her doing superhero
Brad, I literally had the same idea.
I don't remember if her parents know about her doing superhero stuff.
No, they do.
Yeah, I always got the vibe from the show. I always got the vibe from the show they were low-key disappointed in her for not being as good at school as they were.
Well, the first episode that's chronologically, it's where she gets a detention, and they're possibles don't get detention.
Yeah.
Except for your brothers, but they don't count.
Why don't they count? What does that mean?
This is exactly what it's like being an older sibling.
Jesus. Alright. No, yeah, Brad, I literally was and then Candace has she's a redhead too. That.
Yeah.
That works too well. Oh my god.
Wait, Candace is a redhead?
Yeah, yes. She's got orange hair from fucking Phineas and Ferb.
Her hair was blonde.
No, Phineas is also redheaded.
Yeah.
Ferb has green hair.
Ferb had green hair. Okay.
Ferb has green hair, Phineas has orange.
Yeah.
Yeah, I knew Phineas had orange. I just thought Candace... I guess I never thought about it enough.
One of my plants is named Phineas, and the other one is named Candace, and I had a Ferb, but Ferb died.
Dude,
fucking ripped a Ferb.
They were tulip bulbs. They just die sometimes.
No.
Okay, so I wrote down mechanic as my third skill, and I just wrote works well with vehicles. Do you want that to be more specific, less specific?
Yeah, works well.
Less specific, please.
Too much.
Works well.
he works side by side with them, and he's it's a good environment.
Yeah.
Like he's very nice. They're good coworkers.
Always gets a glowing review on his peer evals at the end of each month.
Group costumes for Halloween parties.
He dresses up as Optimus Prime. Oh man. We dress up as fucking Sam Witwicky.
He's like Optimus
no, the car is Sam
at the
Witwicky
holiday
and he's
party.
Optimus.
Yeah, that's what I mean. Yeah. Oh my god.
Nice.
Okay. All right. Well, so that's the skills then.
Yeah.
Is that it? For like things I have
pretty
to
much.
create.
Like, I might modify them like in the game if like we need to like make it more specific or something. But like for now, that's good enough, I think.
Okay.
Reputation, just like leave it. What kind of equipment do you think you have? Like your guy doesn't use weapons, you said? Like he just tries to punch people?
Yeah, he's a very simple man. He's a very, very simplistic man.
Like,
I guess he could
killed like immediately.
if he want. Well, I mean that's where the fucking trigger power is supposed to help me out. But I guess if he wanted to, I could say that he carries a wrench on him, like he carries one of those big ass fucking wrenches, maybe.
This reminds me of like in The Office when like Andy just dresses up as a mechanic so he can bring a wrench into a restaurant when they think they're dealing with the mafia. Like it's such a weird weapon to carry.
But it'll work.
Like
it'll get the job done.
It'd work, but why wouldn't you just? I mean, I guess he has access to a wrench. It just seems weird that he would go for that instead of like a anything else.
Yeah.
Is it gonna make sense that you're this simple, Nick? Because like when we came up with your power, I imagined these like really big brain situations where
Honestly,
you like
so did I.
Like you had it all set up and you're like this precise angle, and I knew the whole time that I would like coax him to like walk around his desk at exactly, and then boom, we shoot him.
I was not thinking about this. It's a straight line, dude. All I'm gonna be like is just be like, "Hey, fucker, come at me," or have you aggro him to me, and then I just let the fucking Shadow Raider do all the rest of the thing.
Oh well,
this power is wasted on you. The whole point was you try and hit the maximum amount of people as you can.
I aggro all of them.
I mean, what did we
aggro all of them
in regard to like delay? Because that was part of why it had to be big brain. Like if Nick can just like
you can't spam it, Nick. There's like you can do it like you can do it maybe like once every other round.
Okay.
If your whole thing is precise angles, wouldn't it make more sense if you were an engineer?
Well, I didn't know that my whole thing was precise angles. See, there's a communication here.
Like, this is a whole thing, like, I don't know, this happens in various media where, like, someone has a really good power, but they're just not very smart. Like, this could be that.
I mean, to be again...
See, I'm just feeling kind of awkward right now because my backstory is that I also work as a mechanic.
That's not my backstory.
My power is metal related. It made sense.
Yeah, no, that makes sense.
Nick is like the Uber of this universe.
It's like that thing where you and your sister come downstairs wearing the same outfit, and you're like, "Well, one of us is gonna have to change."
No, it's fine. Also, again, you guys keep talking about angles. There's no angles in a line. A line is just a line, dude.
Technically, a line is 180 degrees, and that is an angle.
Busted.
What do you mean?
That's why you're not an engineer.
What do you mean a line is 180 degrees?
What do you mean?
What do you mean? What do you mean?
Do you know what angles are?
You need 2 line segments to have an angle between the segments.
Any single point along that line could be the vertex.
Oh, I'm not imagining.
I'm a STEM major.
I was not imagining any.
Calculus.
I was not imagining any points along the line.
That's a straight line, but like whatever, dude. The idea was that you had to set it up, like you had to find the line.
I do set it up. I set it up by aggroing them. That's how I set it up.
This is like supposed to be like Portal, Nick. You're supposed to be smart about it. But instead, you're just throwing rocks at someone.
Yeah, and then they come at me, and then I shut up the Shadow Raider behind them, and then they die or
this
don't
is like
die because I don't kill them.
They have the power to like they can have the power to like build. Well, this is literally Leet. Like Leet's power is he can build anything, But he just like builds stupid.
No, it's not. Hold on. No, my power is not Lee's power. I can't do that.
No, he's literally not my power. You use it.
Like, he can do anything, but he's just so uncreative. Like, he just wastes his power.
Oh, you're saying in the story, he... Okay. You're saying in the story, he actually just doesn't utilize his power well at all.
No, and, like, there's this guy, Skidmark. He can make the... You know in, like, Mario Kart, there's, like, those speed tiles? Like, he basically can make those. But, like, he literally just uses it to, like... I've only used it one time, actually. Yeah. He doesn't even use it to go fast. He just makes other people like trip, or like makes people like a ring around someone so they have to fight someone else.
And you picked the fucking worst name possible, just because he's like that. I hate it so much.
I remember on like the Worm subreddit, people were like trying to like improve his power. Like, how could you make like a shit power and not shit? And they're like, this guy could literally make a railgun, but he just makes people slip. Like, come on.
Some people just don't have that big of an imagination, okay? Maybe my guy's just one of those guys.
You're one of them, my dude.
Should I fill out perks and flaws in my own time? I can figure that out on my own. I just want to ask if that's something I need to do.
We're not going to do those, I think.
Okay.
I don't think that's involved in this. Wait, actually, okay. That might be involved, but we're going to do that at the end of this.
Yeah. Again, it's just like it's just like more advanced like character building. It's the same thing that they do.
No, there's actually like a chart, sort of.
Oh my god, these charts! No,
it's like a random roll. Like you don't get to choose what it is. It's just like you get it randomly based on the dice. But we're gonna do that at the end for everyone, like in a row.
Okay. And reputation gets filled in later. I think I'm done. I'm gonna scroll down to the bottom here.
One thing before we go though. Do you think your character fits in on this team that's like all about kind of appearing to be scary and like dangerous?
Appearing to be scary?
Yeah, because you guys aren't actually trying to kill the security forces, right? You're just like attacking and causing mayhem.
Even know that. Like,
yeah.
How do you not?
I clock in, I stand where I need to stand, I aggro who I need to aggro, and then I get the paycheck and I clock out. That is my character's MO. Yeah, if I die, then so be it. That's a win in my character's book, okay?
I mean, how do you argue?
A really cool way to go out is like the first session you just die. Like you just
stand
in front of someone.
It's like, alright, mission accomplished.
He got what he wanted. Sorry guys, stream's over. I'm not part of this anymore.
Yash might just try to kill you
at
every turn.
I did fill my current goals as a thing. I said to stay out of people's ways and not be bothered.
Stay out of people's ways. You're literally attacking people, dude.
Okay, when I'm off the clock, when I'm not doing my work, it's ironic in that sense.
We'll like go to rob a bank, and it's just like, oh my god, dude, so much attention. Like, jeez.
I left all the assets and allies and underlings and resources empty. I don't know. I could fill that out later if I need to, but
no, it's okay. You probably don't have any friends.
All right. So that's mine. So who's next?
Yeah, yours is good.
Nice.
Nicole, do you want to go next? Since you're also a mechanic.
So, oh god. Okay. How do I share my screen?
There's a share screen button next to the mic.
Thank you so much. Oh, yeah. Okay.
I feel like Nicole's mechanic like looks down at Nick's mechanic like when they're together.
Alright.
Good with vehicles.
Okay. So, full disclosure, I copied this and started typing it out while Nick was talking.
That's fine.
So, it's not very well developed. But yeah.
Oh wait, actually no, that makes sense. Okay.
Yeah. Wait, is there a way for me to like look? What? I didn't know what the team name was.
The name is Team.
I didn't know what the team name was.
Isn't it?
It's the default. It's the default.
It's the default. For what you want it to be called.
Oh,
I have one.
We chose Team. Team.
That'd be great, though. I'd love that. I'd love that so much.
Suck it, Yash would be so confusing for people in the universe.
Oh my god.
It's like the PRT. You're like, why are they called Suck It Gosh? Like, who is this? Is this like a vendetta? Is this revenge? Is Yash like some guy in Detroit?
So whatever. Anyway, so my civilian name is Shona McCall, which is very low effort. It doesn't mean anything. It's just my first name is the name of one of my cousins who has like the best voice I've ever heard in my life. Like nice. She could do ASMR. It's wonder. It's so relaxing. And Call used to be my family name until like 6 generations ago. I really just came up with a name.
6 generations.
Yeah, someone changed it because they worked for like a family whose last name is what mine currently is, and they were like, instead of being like blah 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 Call of this family, why don't we just change it to this family?
Nice, that's smart.
And
it's like, that was an option. I am now.
It's like when you go into like the computer industry, you like change your name to Steve Jobs or like Bill Gates, so people hire you.
Yeah,
that'd be pretty funny.
I've been working at Facebook for like 20 years. I'm just gonna change my last name to Zuckerberg.
Has Facebook even existed for 20 years? No.
Nobody fact checked.
Anyway, I'm still a girl. I figure I'm like 21, 22 at this point. I have not really come up with anything in terms of what my appearance is. In terms of costumes, I was kind of picturing something that was like Ghost in Ant-Man and the Wasp, where she has like the hood and the goggles and the face mask, because she doesn't want like anyone to know who she is or what she looks like, really. And obviously it's sleeveless because of her powers, which I'll get into later. And in terms of civilian appearance, I was thinking somewhere between like Rosa from Brooklyn Nine-Nine and like an extra from Step Up 2. And
what? Step Up 2? Why the sequel?
I don't think we know enough about Step Up.
Does that even have Corbin Bleu in it? Did the sequel have Corbin Bleu?
None of them have had Corbin Bleu in it.
Wait, which one am I thinking of?
You're thinking of Jump In.
Okay, to be fair, they sound kind of similar.
God, shit, what's his name? Who's the guy?
Tatum.
Thank you. You're thinking of Channing Tatum.
No, I was definitely thinking of Corbin Bleu. I just thought that Step Up was that Disney Channel original where it's about jump rope.
That's Jump In.
That is Jump In. My bad.
Oh, this
Your
is
costume,
nice.
when you like in the description, it sounds exactly like Rosa when she goes to Comic-Con and she just puts on goggles.
Honestly, kind of. Except I figure, at least in terms of my civilian outfit, I'm gonna be wearing something that's like sleeveless, just in case like shit goes down. And just generally like stuff you don't really mind getting dirty because I work as a mechanic. I'm gonna get into stats and skills and shit later. So my power is I can secrete a metal coating over my arms for significantly increased strength in hand-to-hand combat, so my punches are more effective and deal more damage. I can also detach my arms and shoot them like missiles up to a certain number of feet away that I forgot what we settled on, and they can detonate like frag
you forgot
grenades.
half your power.
I was typing this while Nick was talking.
She's mid-typing.
I forgot. Okay,
I forgot about that. I was typing this while Nick was talking, so I was trying to type everything and also pay attention to Nick. So,
if you guys want, you can leave the power stuff blank. I'm writing, like, I've been doing a write-up of all the powers, but I'm just trying to, like, balance them out for the game, so, like, I'm tweaking them so it's not done yet. But it'll be done by next week.
I can eat metal, and I can absorb that through my reinforced teeth, or am I just straight up digesting it? What do we settle on for that?
It's getting absorbed.
You just digest it.
Okay, cool.
She doesn't shit out the metal.
Through your stomach.
She doesn't shit out the metal, Yash.
Yeah, it gets
absorbed, but it gets absorbed through your stomach.
Yeah, you don't shit out everything you put into your body. Sometimes it just goes into other stuff in your body. It's the same kind of situation.
If you did that, you would just die.
Yeah. And yeah, there's also the Trump power, which I did completely forget about, which is that I...
You have the best words.
Yes.
You turn them into mover powers, basically.
Yeah, any kind of like super power that hits me in my arms, I can turn into some sort of mover power to get away. So I'll get into it later, but my...
It's getting absorbed.
She doesn't shit out the metal. Yeah, it gets absorbed through your stomach. Yeah, it gets absorbed through your stomach. Yeah, like my trigger event involved getting hit with like a blast of fire. So in that situation, in order to get away, I was able to kind of absorb it through my arms, blocking my face, and then like kind of rocket boot away from the situation.
Yeah.
And one flaw is that I just need to eat a certain amount of metal per day, like iron supplements.
No, that's not.
Does not count as a flaw?
No, that's not what the category is for. That's like the role where you get like a random perk and a random flaw.
Oh, okay, never mind.
Yeah.
Let's hear about that history, though.
Yeah. My reputation is like being pretty quiet and reserved within like kind of contract groups. I feel like I've probably worked for a few at this point. And that has to do with like
21 years old?
What?
Aren't you 21 years old? When did you trigger?
I figured I triggered like end of high school. So like junior or senior year.
So she's had about 4 years.
Listen, Yash, I texted you this shit earlier, and I was like, I figure I triggered at like 17 maybe, and at this point I'm like maybe 21 or 22, but I definitely seem a lot older.
I saw that part. Okay, I forgot about the 17.
Whatever. So I don't like talking that much, and that has to do with like not wanting to reveal any personal information that might link myself to my family. Do I have to go into the trigger event? We did that one of the other episodes.
No, you don't.
Yeah.
Okay, cool. Okay, so in terms of history, I'm from a relatively low-income family growing up in Detroit. My dad owns an auto shop that I work in. I have a stay-at-home mom. And
I also work there, and you gave me the job.
Dad-eye.
Does he?
Oh.
That means grandma.
Yes.
Does it?
My father's mother lives with us.
I thought you just misspelled bad.
What? No.
I think there's an H in there after the D.
That is not how we spell it. I think there's a different spelling in Kashmiri.
Okay.
But I never really idolized superheroes, but I feel like I probably trusted them the same way that people trust firefighters to kind of take care of you. Which obviously was compromised after my trigger event, and then after the trigger event, like my power kind of helped with getting away from more damage happening, but I definitely still had some like injuries to recover from.
You got shot like a bunch of times.
Yeah, I got shot like a bunch of times. So I figure I was hospitalized for a while to kind of recover from the injuries, and I racked up a significant amount of medical debt, which obviously I would need to help. Like my family can't just pay that off. It's going to take some time to pay that off. And I figured being in rehab and whatnot would also delay my high school graduation and any plans that I had to like go to a good school. And eventually I figure I did earn my GED. Oh my god, what was that?
Yash, once again.
Yash, get your shit together.
Yash, turn on your microphone. Your video. Let us see what you're doing.
I don't understand why.
Yash.
Oh my god. I'm gonna have to mute him. I'm literally gonna have to mute him in a second. I don't understand why Yash doesn't use just use if he's on Discord on his phone, the phone app will just like I think the phone app can naturally just like mute your like the reverb of people's voices coming out the bottom end of it, because otherwise just doing any phone call on a phone would be awful on speaker, because then it'd be a feedback loop forever. Yeah. So
okay,
I think you could just go without
headphones.
Okay.
What? Okay. All right. That's fine. All right.
So yeah, I figure I did eventually earn my GED, but in the meantime, I kind of started working at the auto shop full time to try to kind of pay off those medical bills and help my family, because I'm sure, especially with having like my grandmother living with us, I probably like shit comes up that I'm gonna need to help pay for. And I started taking on these like contract, like hired muscle gigs to help pay off the hospital bills and then just generally help out my family. In terms of personality, I'm probably more of a loner than I used to be, since I got held back from graduating, and I probably kind of lost contact with a lot of my friends. I'm kind of jaded about the world at this point. I'm not really interested in like making the world a better place, but I'm also not really interested in like hurting anyone. I mostly just kind of want to take care of myself and my family. I'm also very bent on like keeping these kind of side gigs a secret from my family, which is both to protect them because I don't want anyone finding out who, like, what my civilian identity is and potentially going after my family, and also because I know that my parents and my grandmother, inspired by my own very, like, judgmental grandmother, would definitely not be okay with anything that I'm doing, even though I am doing it for them.
I mean, you were beating up people for money illegally. So
yeah, they wouldn't be thrilled about that. They wouldn't be thrilled about that. So as a result, I would, like, I'm actively very against anything that kind of reveals personal information about myself, which is why I had the idea that, like, my costume would probably be something that's, like, very much obscuring my face, which is why I was thinking of, like, Ghost from Ant-Man and the Wasp, because she has, like, the faceplate and the goggles.
Yeah. Covers everything.
Yeah,
she... It was part of her mask, I think.
Whatever. I was thinking about Ghost, and I was also thinking about Winter Soldier.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. So, again, her biggest priority is, like, protecting your family, and she will break any kind of agreement if it means protecting them. She'd consider killing one of her teammates if they found out her civilian identity and she had any kind of suspicion that they might be trying to hurt them.
Oh, so she shows up to the office with her mask on?
I figure I don't want to, like, maybe I'll take off my goggles, but I don't really want to, like, show anyone what I look like necessarily. She'd also be more inclined to protect civilians in a situation where there's, like, children involved, or if it's, like, a parent trying to protect their kids or something. She's not particularly thrilled about, like, working with this group. For her, it's just kind of a means to an end. She wants to make money. But I said that, like, potentially in the future, with enough, like, proof of loyalty and feeling like her teammates actually care about her, she might have the potential to, like, kind of see them as a second family at some point, and maybe kind of feel as strongly about protecting them as she does about protecting her real family. And in terms of goals, I just said, like, she cares about, like, financially supporting her family, and she might want to attend college in the future, but right now everything's kind of stalled. And that's what I got.
Bet.
I'm just imagining Nick's character trying to find out your identity so you kill him.
Yeah.
No, the only thing that triggered in my head when you said that was that it's just gonna make the scenario that for my character's recruitment that I had in my head when you said you were working at a mechanic shop a little more difficult, because I was imagining that you were going to get this job and then you would find out about me doing the underground fighting rings, and then you would extend, like, an invitation, like,
well,
because
it could be a situation where, like, I don't know, are you working for, like, your parents, or no, your parents kicked you out?
No, I went into the city and I've never returned home.
To Detroit. Oh man, that's
Wait,
just so funny, Phil.
He's just laughing because Richard's parents sent him to Detroit to make something of himself.
It's just such
so were you thinking a situation? So were you thinking a situation like maybe we work at the same, like, auto body shop or something?
Yes, yeah. That's what I was
so
thinking.
It could be a we could kind of work it in, like, maybe you got a job at the auto shop that my parents own or something. And then maybe, I mean, granted, part of why it's convenient that I'm a mechanic is that I have, like, an easy access to, like, random metal parts and stuff that I can eat periodically. So maybe you, like, catch me doing that at some point, and then that's how we kind of, like, find out about each other. So maybe we know each other. Like, I let you know who I am.
That'd be an interesting dynamic.
And I don't want anyone else to know who I am.
Yeah. And I can cover.
That sounds great.
Yeah.
I'm down for that.
This is a lot better than the last time I played Dungeons & Dragons, because I made my character... Like, we all kind of made our characters in, like, separate bubbles. And as a result... Like, my character is supposed to be, like, chaotic neutral, and as a result of, like, how everyone else was just kind of playing themselves and everyone else was so chaotic, I was just I became myself, like, can we not, like, maybe
you became the more neutral side of the spectrum.
I became myself, which is just lawful good. Like, really annoyingly lawful good. Like, guys, can we please just, like, try to talk
Play
to
the
them before
game.
we start killing? Yeah.
Yeah. That's what happens when everybody tries to play a chaotic character in Dungeons and Dragons. That's why you gotta limit it.
Time.
No.
It's because Megan and crew were playing themselves, and Adam was like somewhere between himself and crew. Yeah. Oh, wait, by the way, Adam says hi.
Chaotic?
Oh, Adam and Max said hi. Yeah.
Yeah.
Which one, Spady?
Yeah.
Yes. No, Adam.
I'll send them your link, Nick.
Okay. Thank you.
You're welcome.
Yeah, tell Adam.
I'm sure they'll enjoy this.
Yeah, this is some quality epic content, I think.
Yeah, very epic. All right, so then I guess it's on to the stats.
The skills. Oh.
Yeah.
Yeah. Sounds like your character would be knowledge.
How do you?
Well, you didn't go to college, I guess, did you? So maybe not.
The way I kind of saw myself was like, I probably like got accepted to like a pretty good school, maybe on an academic scholarship or something, but because of my injury and getting delayed, like I had to postpone college, and as a result that scholarship did not stick around for me.
Okay.
And I wasn't able to afford it. So as a result, at this point, like, I'm decently smart and I have a GED, but it's more like kind of financial barriers and whatnot have prevented me from going to college.
So then you could
have literally the backstory of Firestorm in the Flash TV show.
Is it?
Because he didn't have enough money to go to college, and he saved someone else from like a fire explosion, and he got his powers, but he didn't have enough money to go to college, so he became a mechanic.
Oh my god! What the fuck?
Yeah, this is pretty cool.
Well,
but you're a villain. So it's fine.
Unless
Firestorm's also a villain.
You're not Firestorm, you're Stormfire. It's totally different.
Yes.
I hate fire now. Fire is why I'm in this mess.
So I mean, I guess you could that could possibly give you a +1, like an extra thing in knowledge. You just have to take it off of something else.
So what is it? Like 3 has to be like, what is it? 3 plus something and then 3 minus something?
Okay, it's 3 across everything. If you want to like add something to one, you have to subtract from another.
Okay.
Honestly, I would, like, what do you think you want to do? Like, I would have kept knowledge the same. Like, your character doesn't really seem super knowledgeable to me. Like, more than, like, normal.
Yeah, that's fair. Okay.
Maybe witty then? I don't know.
What's wits again?
Wits is mental quickness and perception. So, spot and listen, sensory abilities in difficult conditions, pure mental task completion time, reflexes and reaction times, response time. Yeah, that sounds, I mean,
that might be a decent one, especially with my whole thing about, like, protecting my identity. How do I change the bubbles?
That would be social, actually. The protecting your identity would be social, which is interact with others, project an image, communicate effectively, lie, win confidence, blah blah blah, put on a face. So that would be social.
Okay.
You're gonna get boosts to yours in brawn and dexterity or athletics.
Okay.
So,
what's the difference between athletics and dexterity?
Athletics is stamina, fitness, whole body movement. So running, jumping, holding breath, physical endurance during heavy activity, hardcore agility, landing safely, and maintain balance. Dexterity is finer physical movements, hand-eye coordination, initiative. Strength has some melee and most ranged attacks, reload quickly, craft things, perform first aid, find stuff quickly in your bag.
I feel like definitely like a +1 in brawn. I feel like probably more dexterity than athletics because like the only part of me that can do shit is my arms.
Yeah, it's the opposite of skipping leg day. You do skip leg day. Sorry, no, yeah, you do. You just straight up always skip leg day. You always do arm day. It's the problem.
That's my character name, leg day.
That makes sense, I guess, for like a mechanic.
Anti-leg day.
Oh yeah, that would also
make
sense
for a mechanic.
Okay.
Yeah, but then you just have to think about what would you then turn into a -1. Yeah, you have to if you take both of those as +1s, then you have to -1 to 2 things.
Okay.
As well.
Honestly, maybe guts.
What's guts again?
Like you've already gotten shot once, or like several times.
Oh, so like I'm less inclined to be willing to get hurt.
No, that's
honestly,
your health.
Just think about your character, like how do you think It's like durability, withstand mental or emotional assaults, ability to keep emotional and mental state stable over time, keep fighting when heavily injured. Like, do you think they might also be prone to being even more, good at fighting when heavily injured because of what they've experienced, or they might be,
Okay.
less, like they might have like panic attacks or whatever, like Iron Man did in like Iron Man 3, which was a terrible movie. So, it kind of depends.
They retconned the Mandarin thing.
Yeah, I know.
What do
I
you
saw
mean?
that there was a one shot that they released called I think it's like the Hail to the King, and it was like the Mandarin is in prison, and this guy comes to interview him, and he kills the
Who
prison
names
guards.
himself after a fruit, dude?
Specifically, like
Name yourself the watermelon.
He was originally like very Chinese and very racist.
Yeah, so I'm glad they didn't do that, but at the same time, man, like the fucking actor they got to play him in Iron Man 3, I remember seeing the trailer, like,
what a waste.
Fucking, oh my god.
So Kingsley, my man.
Yeah.
He did so good, and then they just ruined it.
They're making the Mandarin the father of, like a different Asian character, a different Chinese character.
Shang-Chi? Shang-Chi?
Maybe? I don't remember.
That's
a movie that's coming out soon, because they were like, instead of making his dad Fu Manchu, how about we do this instead? And make it
his name is not Fu Manchu. No way.
I know.
No, in Marvel Comics, I think that's Shang-Chi's, that was Shang-Chi's dad, was Fu Manchu. Fu Manchu was a literal character in the Marvel Comics universe for a long time. It was,
Yeah, I forget what the explanation is, but it was like, we thought this would be problematic, so we're gonna make it the Mandarin instead.
It is better.
So, I don't know what I would do for Guts, because I figured, like, I'm not gonna be, like, super inclined to, like, help people that I don't really care about.
That's not really what Guts is.
As in, like, if, like, my family was being threatened or something, then if I were injured, I would keep fighting, but, like, otherwise,
Like, do you think you're like an anime character where you can just like, through the power of will, you just keep fighting?
No, it's the power of friendship, dude. Come on.
Do you think? Okay, my bad. Let me change that. Do you think you're like Rocky Balboa, where like you'll just keep like getting hit and you'll stay up?
No.
Do you think you're gonna be like you can withstand emotional assaults, like mental assaults?
I think the fact that you would be very triggered by your family being called out would probably be
a -1.
Yeah,
be reason. That's a good point.
Yeah. Okay, also, again, like thinking in the aspect of if you die, then you can't help out your family anymore.
That's
so
also
you
a
have,
good point. Yeah. Okay.
But that would make her even more gutsy.
No, what? No, she would want to stay safe, so that
yeah,
but see, that means do you think she would just guts isn't about like going to like being brave enough to fight. It's about how durable, like how tough you are and resilient you are when you are fighting, or when like let's say you're being tortured or something, or like someone's trying to like tear you apart psychologically, like what's her face, Tattletale to like Glory Hole. So you have to.
There's a person named Glory Hole. Why didn't you tell me that?
Glory Hole.
No, her name is Glory Girl.
There are all kinds of names, Nick, my man.
Her name is Glory Girl, but like one of the characters we just keep calling her Glory Hole, and it's like stuck in my head.
What the fuck?
I feel like you'd enjoy this, Gosh. I was trying to explain Worm to Max, like.
Oh God, he really has infected you.
And first of all, his reception cut out and he disconnected, and I was just like speaking at the air for 5 minutes. I didn't even realize. And then after that, I was like, this is like the most like torturous experience I've ever been through, but the world building was really good. And he was like, this is really not like a great endorsement if you want me to read this. I was like, I can't give you a great endorsement.
I can't believe wait, this is really the most like that was the worst thing, was like Worm.
I was having a really bad time when I was reading Worm, and like reading such a fucking like nonstop pain train during that time was like not helping. It was just like,
I think mine was yeah.
It was like, oh God, I'm having such a bad day. Let me read something about like how everyone sucks.
Not everyone sucks. Dragon is so cool.
Dragon is. You can't keep using Dragon. You can't keep using the one character in the cast of like 500.
Okay, but like, there's like, remember when Dragon was in like a different mech? So that's 2 characters at least.
What about fish mechs?
Wait, we're getting off topic. Let's just finish this up.
Yes, please.
Okay, so
we need to get on to other people. Nick, I think you've accepted this point. We're gonna have another week of this.
God, yeah.
cool.
I mean, that's how this always
from
goes.
something.
Well, we have to because of Pat.
Well, we could do that. That could be done off screen. I don't think that'd be the end of the world.
Maybe social? Oh wait, no, social's like lying, so I probably want to keep that the same.
Yeah, you'd probably be pretty good at that.
Knowledge?
So, maybe athletics.
Yeah, do you think your character run? Yeah, do you think your character? I don't see why their character would run a lot unless like that's not that hasn't been built in. Yeah,
I'm a -1.
There you go.
Okay.
And you were asking about the circles.
Skills.
If you could just like select one of them and then delete the other and then just paste in an extra one. That's what I was doing.
That's a lot of effort. I'm impressed that you did that, Nick.
In the dock, if you wanted to change the circles to reflect the number that you have.
Oh yeah, gotcha.
Yeah, you could do that. Anyways,
okay.
So we could just do the skills for now.
What do you think, Nicole?
I don't know, like mechanic knowledge.
What if yours is like mechanic, but it's even better than Nick's? It's like
Damn.
super mechanic.
Yeah, no, that would be
vehicles, fine. But any machinery, vehicles and a motorcycle. Not a vehicle.
What? Did you? What? Bro, what was going through your mind when that thought process occurred?
Well, see, normally mechanics are like auto mechanics, right? Like,
yeah, a motorcycle is an automobile.
No, it's not.
It has an engine.
That's not what an automobile is, Nick.
What do you mean?
Oh boy.
Okay. All right.
An automobile is like a car.
Oh my god.
All right, Yash, on topic, dude. Let's get back on it.
I'm still waiting for what you think, Nicole. Like, what do you want to do? Do you write mechanic shit?
Yes, I did. Do you have a problem with that, Yash?
No, write that where it says skill. Don't write that in that spot. That's where the description goes.
Oh, okay.
Got
So
a
I didn't have a problem
1800 on the SAT.
But now I'm okay.
Okay, good.
18. It's out of 1600 or 2400. 1800 is not good.
It could be really good if it was out of 1600.
Damn, Nick is even better than you because he can do bicycles too.
What?
Right.
That was never specified.
You said vehicles, Nick.
Oh, yeah.
So wait, how would these skills affect like my stats?
They don't affect the stats, so...
Okay. It's just like something that might come up later.
So, okay, so when you do a conflict roll, it's, let me see it again. It's ND6 plus X. So X is based on like your stats, right?
Okay.
So if it's above a 3, you get 1 point, like 1 extra like point for each like ticket is above a 3, right?
Okay.
So like for you, you'll get like 1 extra point for dexterity. Right?
Okay.
And then for each one that's below a 3, it's like for athletics, it'll subtract 1 from whatever your final roll was.
Okay.
The skill determines how many dice you get to roll.
Oh, I
So
see. Okay.
if it's directly related, then like so if it is like specifically like about how cars might make sense, then you will get to roll 2 extra dice, and then you take the best roll out of those 3.
Okay.
If it's like tangentially related, like it's about like a motorcycle, which is not an automobile, so does not fall under the exact purview of mechanic shit.
I'm going to
you
explain
can get a
mechanic shit
+1.
better later, just to be clear.
That's okay. I think that's fine, honestly. Like I like that better than like mix a little bit. It's like it's not as like broad. So.
But if I worked in an
also
auto
leaves
body
more
shop
room
for most of my life, wouldn't I understand how to fix like a bunch of different kinds of vehicles?
Yeah, maybe. So that would be a +1, but it's not like the direct skill you have, right?
Oh, it's not like related to my powers?
No, skills are not related to power. It's like okay, so if you know about like cars, right? Like you can probably fix a motorcycle or maybe like fix the aircon or whatever, right? But like it's not like what you were trained in, right? Like it's not what you specifically are good at, but like you're probably also good at that. So that would give you like a +1. Well, if you're like directly like fixing a car, it'd be like a +2.
Okay.
You get it?
Do you think you might also be good at driving vehicles? You might be a good driver.
That's a
that
good
could
point.
Be a skill.
I mean, can you even drive? It's like a city, and you were walking on the street when you got hit.
Yeah, but she was in like high school and her family's poor. I don't know.
Yeah.
Wasn't she like okay? Do you think you'd have a car now though?
Probably. I mean, if I work at like realistically, I could probably like fix up my own car at this point. So yeah, I'll put like.
Do you really want that to be a skill though?
I don't know. Like getaway driving seems like it could come in handy at some point if we're villains.
Okay, maybe I should explain that. I guess. You guys don't really use a getaway driver. You have a teleporter.
What?
Bruh.
What?
What?
Yeah.
What do you mean?
Not a machine. Like there's a person that like Cobra like lends you that's a teleporter.
Cobra. No.
Also, yeah, what? Where's Cobra come from?
Sorry, Cobra. No, sorry, Shepherd. Cobra was just a first he said as a placeholder because it was like coil, but it's Cobra instead. No, Shepherd. Sorry.
These are all new names.
Okay, how about this? I come up with my skills on my own time, and then we can maybe like quickly go through it next week. I just want to give someone else a chance to go tonight.
All right, sure, but try and put some stuff down in there, like until when we come back next time.
Sure.
Okay, Kyle, do you want to go next?
Yeah, sure.
Nicole.
Party.
Now, I really don't have much because.
That's okay.
What the?
It's fine. Again, I literally
Actually,
typed all of that sitting here right now.
We might be able to get to all of ours then.
Because you guys didn't finish filling it in.
No, I didn't.
I didn't know there was a character sheet already posted in the chat. Please remember I missed the first 3 weeks.
Okay. Yeah, I thought you were
stream time, baby. Kyle,
So,
you gonna subs for the stream?
am I gonna what?
Yeah.
Okay.
Jesus fucking Christ.
So I asked a bunch of questions.
Is everyone doing suck it Yash for all the things
Hang
they
on,
haven't
let me add that.
What?
I think we have a winner here. I don't know about you guys. It sounds like we have a winner here.
About.
Yeah.
So I asked some questions directed at Yash earlier today that I consider to be very important to how my character will be, and
never answered.
He didn't answer me, so I don't know the answers yet. So I'd like to get them now.
Oh my
Sorry,
god!
I missed it.
Can I ask them now?
Yeah, go ahead.
Sure. Yes. Okay. So I started by just wanting to clarify my power because there's the first component, which is that I can just intensify an emotion between two people, right?
Yeah.
Is that how you
tie
describe
them
it?
together basically like that, and it's like a
Right.
feedback
That part
loop
I
that just keeps
understand.
intensifying.
What?
What?
What did you say just there?
I said it's like a feedback loop which keeps intensifying over time.
Okay, yeah. So that part makes sense. But then there's this other part, which is that I can tie someone to me. And then if... Well, first, my question would be, can I connect, like, any emotion they have to me? Because, like,
No.
does it have to be...
It's their most powerful emotion towards you at the time that you tether them. It's the same
Is that
as
how
what
the
it
whole
would be.
power works?
Yeah, the
Yes.
whole power is like this, like the predominant emotion between like the two people. So like one person, like if one person likes someone else and the other person like despises them, then like that, like it's gonna be like a very mismatch. Like one guy's gonna try and like kiss them or whatever, and the other person is gonna be like punching them in the face. Like it's whatever's the strongest emotion that each person has.
Okay, all right. I'm gonna just like.
I'll put this all up. Like
you'll give it to me.
I'm also
that's
tweaking your power too.
Right. But so it's possible someone could not hate me, right? And then like the emotion that I would strengthen by tying them to me is a positive one.
Yes.
But like the example you guys gave was that like if I tie someone to me and they dislike me, they start to punch me, and I then have the power that their punches stop hurting me as much very quickly. The end.
Right.
And like that part, I kind of wanted some information about because like.
Okay, so
what?
So here's what it is. Well, so I just assumed you were drawing aggro. So, like, I didn't really think about you like using it on someone that might like you.
Because then,
we
like,
talked about that so much,
like,
Josh. I can't. How
Nick should have had this one, man. Because he would never think beyond.
Nick would always.
He's like aggro, good. Too. Me have aggro. But,
aggro time.
Like I'm trying to think outside the box here.
No, that's
so,
good.
Like,
yeah, so I can leave that in as a thing if you want to try and use it that way.
Man, you're 2K years old. Oh,
okay, so the way it was supposed to work is like you can tie some, like when you tether someone to yourself, like, I mean, I just assume that they would be like aggressive.
No matter what.
Then, well, no, I mean, like what you say.
Oh, like you think I would do that? Okay.
Like I assume you would just like use it against people that don't like you or something, or like you throw an egg at someone and then tether them to you.
That's very short term.
Yeah, like, it's pretty short term. But like, it's about like the strongest like emotion at the time, like that they have towards one another. It's not like overall like if it was like a married couple, but like they're like having a fight right now, like they would start like physically fighting each other.
Is that the strongest emotion they have though?
At the moment, towards each other, it might be, right? And like that was supposed to be part of like what you do is like you like try and like, you know, intensify certain emotions before you use your power. So like you can get the outcome you want.
Yeah. Okay. Well, I guess I could just, I don't know. This isn't what I was asking necessarily, but like now I'm wondering what would happen because like if I tie someone to me who's trying to hurt me, I become immune to their attacks.
Yeah, like, so the idea.
But if somebody likes me and I tie them to me, do I become immune to their affection? Like, what's the opposite of that?
I don't know. When I'm still like I'm.
Okay. Well, anyway, whatever. That was something I wanted to figure out. I wanted because
that's a good question.
I think specific for this character more than most. I think the power informs my personality a lot because I haven't figured out like anything specific, but my general idea is that like when you're able to play with something like as integral to how you live as like a human emotion, I feel like you get fucked up.
Yeah. Like, and that definitely goes back to the whole thing where your parents were like just fucking with
that's
each
like
other.
The one thing I think I'll probably will have killed my parents at this point by the time.
Yes,
to see it. It's the thing to do. Like
What's your backstory again?
The trigger event was that like my parents are both. I have it here. I don't actually remember entirely. Let me see. So my parents were both capes, and they wanted me to be one, but they didn't ask Yash and learned that you can't do that. So like they like tried to make me develop superpowers, and I didn't. So they were like, well, what big waste of time.
I thought your power
took me up
was
in a helicopter.
I thought your power was that you're.
No, yours was the boat.
Yeah,
oh,
Kyle.
No, I got the wrong one. Oh no.
Yeah, Kyle, you copied the wrong.
Whatever.
You copied the wrong trigger event.
Helicopter, they dropped me in a boat. Whatever. They're like the same story. I'll get the right one later. Who wrote that one so I can find it? Because
I wrote it.
Okay.
I wrote the.
Because like I saw who wrote the helicopter one.
Pat.
Like I saw that one. I'm like, oh right, that was it. Like it was so similar. Anyway,
we talked about the similarities when we were
to develop superpowers. They just hate each other.
Yes.
And then they don't care about me, which is the same. And then instead of trying to drop me into water, they tried to drown me in water.
They didn't try to drown you intentionally.
They left me because they're like, whatever, dude. I don't care about you. And
then they cared more about fighting each other than they did about saving you.
Yeah, significantly more.
Yeah.
So I figured the first thing I would do after developing this power is probably tether them to each other, and they'd kill each other immediately.
Yeah, they would. That would be so good.
Because like I would for maximum dramatic effect, it's probably going to be like the first time I ever use it,
Well, I mean, the first time
That's
you use it,
awesome.
you have to tether your
It's to
parents
make
to
them come
you,
and get
so
you.
that your parents save you. That was the whole thing.
But maybe
It
he
was?
tethers to like a fish or something.
Yeah, because you're trapped in a like a
Oh, right,
sinking
yeah.
ship right
Okay,
now.
yeah,
So
I
your
forgot
parents
about that
have the
situation.
ability to save you, but they choose not to, and you are helpless at that moment.
But
so
if I
you
tether
need
them to me, they hate me.
No.
I think we just have to
They
assume
just
your
feel
dad
apathy.
doesn't hate you.
They
Or
have
something.
complicated feelings about you.
Yeah.
They
So,
don't hate you.
just
You're
like-
just a disappointment.
So
Just
that
like text your mom about the good memories you had, then tether her to you.
that's enough. Jeez, this is like way more volatile than I thought.
Well, it's the predominant emotion at the time.
Yeah. I could okay, here's something that could make it work, just like a thinker moment. So like you could theoretically in the scenario, like maybe they're batshit, but maybe they still care about you like a little bit. And so if you're like, "Mom, please," and then immediately as you say that, you then tether, and then that like she in that moment she's like, "Oh shit," and then but then she wouldn't if you didn't have your power, she would have like just overcome it. But because you tethered, it then grows stronger, and then she feels obliged to pick you up. And then after that, you can have
Yeah.
I see.
It's that
I
thing
didn't
where like
realize
parents.
this.
It's that thing where like parents are super abusive to you, and they're like, "We just want you to succeed and be successful."
Right
Well,
after they
okay, so I
finish the
have
word
to-
succeed, you tether them.
So it's like whatever emotion is in the front of their brain
Mhm.
Yeah.
at
Yeah.
At
the
the
exact
time.
moment
Towards
Interesting.
you, though.
Yeah.
towards me in this situation,
Yes.
because I'm tethering them to me, but otherwise it would be toward whoever else.
Yeah. Okay, so let me say, I really like the idea of that's the first thing he does is kill his parents. And
But I
then
guess it would have
they're
to
gonna
be
like
the second
fucked
one,
up.
or I'm gonna die.
Yeah, the second thing.
Maybe after
Yeah.
they take me home.
Yeah. You get them home, and then you realize that you used your power to get them to change their minds, and you're like, well, I could do this a little bit more, and then
Cool,
and then
let me just kill him.
well, he doesn't know the full extent of his power yet. So then,
Right.
because he only turned it on just a little bit to get them
And
to
I
save him.
only used the component where I can tie things to me.
Yeah, and so,
then
it's
when
just
I
like
when I test out the other power half, they just
Yeah.
immediately kill each other.
yeah.
It's super fast.
Yeah.
Unless that's
You
not the
wouldn't
truth.
do it,
I
like-
don't know.
You think
Maybe
you-
in the moment it was though, so I can do whatever I want with that. But yeah, that's like the one main event I have figured out.
Mhm.
I probably killed my parents, especially now that I have the correct backstory and my parents don't have superpowers.
Yeah.
There's like, because I was thinking like maybe it would be interesting to the story if they weren't dead.
Mhm.
They could pop up or be part of my motivation, but no, they don't. They're not superheroes, so fuck it, they're dead.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
okay, so I've got that figured out, and then from there I don't really know because I think it's really cool what Nick and Nicole just did, where they like intertwined their backstories. That's really cool.
Mhm.
I don't really have any specifics to work on. I don't
Yeah,
know. Like I can figure
not-
something out myself, but
Yeah.
like I
Yeah,
think,
not
like-
everybody's backstory has to be connected. It'll be a
Right,
little
right,
bit
right.
ridiculous
That'd
if
be
all of
really
us end up
hard.
working at the auto shop.
it doesn't
Yeah,
have
ours
to be that
was very
specifically
convenient
connected.
because we're both like not imaginative apparently.
Yeah.
Oh my
Right.
god, a mechanic
I'm
working
proud
in
of it.
Detroit, so original.
I
They
literally,
don't like talking to
original.
other people.
yeah,
But
I
I
don't
think-
know.
The main things I have, and I'll work on this like far in advance of next week, so that I have something, and I'll send it to Yash or whoever. But I have like I killed my parents very quickly, and then in probably like the couple years it's been since, I like, I'm aware of the fact that I can play with human emotions at my whim, and don't really like respect people because they're just like
Sounds
it's
about
just,
right.
like it's not
Regent.
like everyone
Yes.
talks about their emotions all the time, but it's really just a thing I can play with. So like
Yeah.
they're talking about how they really
Right.
want to do X, Y, and Z, and it's their life
That's
goal. But
really-
like I could just snap my fingers and they'll do something else.
Yes.
That's
what I
Get
liked
get
when you
fucking
said it.
twisted, Kyle. I want to see you
Especially-
get fucking twisted.
Especially
Well-
if whatever you're thinking of in the moment becomes overwhelmingly important.
Mhm.
Because like they could have some big dream and then they happen to stub their toe and then I don't know. That's a bad example, but like whatever.
No,
Like,
No, but they-
something
Whoa.
something that may have been a fleeting idea can suddenly become everything. I'm like,
Yeah.
yeah, whatever, dude.
Intrusive
I don't care about.
thoughts.
Yeah, you could basically So you want another bad example? Here's another bad example.
I love bad examples.
You could just reap in karma on r/public freakouts by just making people have public freakouts by turning any inconvenience into an enraging moment.
Okay.
Nick, this is just like you with your power. We're like, no, what do you use this for?
Dude, what do you mean? What should I be doing?
No, like Nick with his power, like I'll just shoot at one person at a time when they come at me.
That's not what I'm saying. I'm not saying shoot it at one person. I'm just saying get them all aggro.
Here, no. I'm saying it's just like, how do you think of these things to do with the power? Like, it's like you can control people's emotions. You're like, I'll get Reddit karma. That's what came to mind.
Well, he never got love from his parents, so now he wants love in the form of like internet support.
Dude, we are building your backstory right now.
Kyle, yeah, I think you should join a support group with Brad because you guys are both victims of drowning in a lake because your parents hate you.
Oh right, yeah, Brad's my mechanic buddy.
Different direction there.
Maybe because I was thinking like I really want to go this angle with this character, but being completely detached from like normal human relationships and like looking down on people for having emotions that can be so easily twisted doesn't really help with joining a team and fighting for a cause.
Right.
So like I was trying to think like how can I get there? But maybe I don't know. Brad's kind of similar to me, at least in origin. So maybe I can be like,
I have some ways this could work in. I have some ideas.
Maybe this is a person who at least sort of feels the way I do, even if they don't.
So Brad's gonna help you. Brad's gonna help you from becoming just a full-on sociopath.
This could explain some things in my backstory. This is very nice. Good work, Kyle.
Yeah.
All right.
You guys should laugh
really
at shit.
Honestly.
Wait,
like
I have
emotional
stuff that we can tie in with.
All the emotional anyone with emotion powers in like Worm basically is like kind of like what you said, right? Like they're just like detached and like.
Right. I also I did figure this probably happened in Worm.
There's only one good guy actually, I think, which is like Gallant, who's like the complete opposite direction. Where, like he tries to be as good of a person as possible.
Oh yeah, Gallant's thing is he like encourages people to fight, kind of, right? I don't know.
Also makes people want to give up.
That sounds like the opposite.
I completely forgot his emotional manipulation powers.
Yeah, that's how he likes it too, right? Because he makes people think he's like a tinker. He wears like tinker armor that Kid Win maintains.
I just remembered, this is sort of going back to the figuring out what happens when I tether people to me who want to hurt me.
Right.
Because this sort of informs my costume.
Yeah.
Because I think
you would probably wear armor.
Right. Because from what I remember you saying, it's like I gradually yet quickly their attacks become ineffective on me.
Yeah. So the way I pictured it is, so like you'll only so when they first attack you, right? Like very quickly, like you said, like it'll like the amount it hurts you will decrease. But
how quickly though?
I mean, like, okay, so maybe it's like first hit is like maybe like full power, and then like second hit is like half power, third is like a quarter, or maybe it just starts off at half.
Okay, because my example was like it like the way we've been talking about it. I throw a rotten apple at someone or whatever, and then they get mad at me, and then I tether them, and then they try to punch me, and it hurts a lot, but then not as much, and then it's fine. But what if I do this, and I tether them, and they're mad at me, and then they pull out a gun, and then they shoot me? Like, that's it.
Well,
if the first was like full power, it's like, oh. Well, that didn't work out. The way I saw it is it's kind of like Gloria Hole's power, where it's like not just like to you, it's like a kind of like a field that goes over like your clothing. Like for her, it's like a force field almost. It's like an inch off of like her skin, right? It's like her costume and clothes are underneath are protected by her like invulnerability field or whatever. So like for you, you can wear like armor and like it'll be included, right? So just wear like some armor. Like, I'm surprised that everyone so far has just gone for, like, tank tops and, like, masks.
I have a reason to have a tank top and a mask. It's built into my character.
Yeah, what about your fucking torso, Nicole?
Dude,
your torso is not metal.
Yeah.
Where do you just get armor, though? Like, can I just say I have that? Like...
Well,
I mean, it's a world of superheroes and supervillains, so I'd imagine that.
I just chewed myself a breastplate.
That is something. For me,
I
think my parents. I don't have the story in front of me, but they rented out a cruise ship just to sink it, like for the lulz.
Yeah.
I think it was like a little yacht.
Yeah, no, I imagine that your family is obscenely
a lot of
rich.
Money.
Yeah.
So
you would if you killed your parents, you would be left an orphan that is extremely wealthy. And so you could get away with
Detroit,
shit.
Kyle.
Is that okay?
Fucking anti-Batman.
Just buy Detroit.
Yeah, pretty much.
My parents. That is like anti-Batman.
You have all this money, but you're just using it to fuck with people.
Well, I mean,
honestly, your character is actually very Joker-ish. Like when you're talking about taking advantage of someone's the one moment when they're kind of weak. Like there's a whole the Joker's big thing. Like there's a full comic called The Killing Joke, which is one of the most iconic Batman comics.
Yeah.
The Joker is trying to prove that anyone who's a good guy, even the goodest of men, like Gordon and Batman, can be broken if they have one bad day, and that's kind of your character too, right? It's when in that one moment of weakness, right?
Yeah.
You take that and just ruin someone's life.
Right. I actually like that. I didn't really understand the how moment to moment the emotions I could grab would be. I like that a lot.
Yeah. And I mean, Yash, I told you when I was rating
social,
you should probably. This could be a scenario where a 5 would be justifiable.
Yeah, just put dump 5 in.
Is it because we can do stats? I don't think I'm gonna figure out some specifics of backstory probably, but I think
you can change it. You can alter it before next week. Just tell us what you change.
You guys can still see this, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. So you think so? I don't really have any. I guess just the power informs me.
So,
sort of.
Interact with others, project image, communicate effectively, lie, win confidence, tease information, seduce, intimidate, or put on a... I'd put a 5 on that.
Ooh.
Yeah, you'd be very high on that.
I think that's definitely warranted here.
That is your stat.
Very fun.
But Yash, I was telling you when I wrote
remember what that is.
I'll tell you in a sec. What were you gonna say, Nick?
I was just saying. I thought I told you when I wrote that trigger event, I was basing his parents, both sort of I got some inspiration from the Flashpoint event, Joker and Batman, where it's Thomas Wayne and Martha Wayne instead of Bruce. So it's fitting in that sense.
Batman.
Yeah.
Nice.
But it seems to all come back around. Anyways, what are wits?
Okay, so wits, Kyle, is mental quickness and perception. So spot and listen, sensory abilities in difficult conditions, pure mental task completion time, reflection and reaction times, response time. I just think you'd want perception to be able to kind of
probably +1 here, and I'm going to be anemic on the physical side.
Well, you can just take off your knowledge, just not know anything. Honestly, would your character even know anything? Think about it, right? Would you ever have to do anything for yourself?
That's true.
I have to do. I can't I mean, this isn't mind control.
Yeah, but you're
I have to go
dude.
buy groceries.
But even without mind control,
I am rich.
Yeah.
So maybe I could just.
If you -2 to knowledge, though, it doesn't mean you're brain damage. It just means that
you have 1 skill left.
You want me to be -2?
I'm just saying
1?
because you did you only did +2 for social. Okay.
I don't think there's any more than that though.
+2 is the maximum amount.
Yeah. Someone did 5, and I thought you +5 to social. And I was okay, we're gonna have to decrease a lot of other stuff.
I could see myself being a 2 out of 5 in the left 3.
Yeah. And then you could.
That works out.
Yeah.
If you did -1 for the left 3, then you could still put +1 into something else on
for
the right side.
Or maybe what's guts again? It's how much I.
It's mental resilience, physical resilience, toughness. So it's withstand emotional and mental assaults, ability to keep emotional and mental state stable over time, keep fighting when heavily injured, durability. I think your character, honestly, it would probably become really detached from their own emotion after a while, right?
Okay, so let's just say I'm slightly below average at all these, so I have points to work with.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, you're not any.
Remember, that's also is
health
points.
Well, I'm not min-maxing, Yash. I'm role-playing, okay?
No, I'm just reminding everyone else.
I'm gonna die. Maybe.
I mean, your guts are like the same amount, aren't they? You didn't boost it or subtract it.
I will. So like, okay, this is -1, -1, -1, and then this is +2. Oh, I have to write -1.
Yeah.
As well.
Mm-hmm.
And you were going to boost wits by 1, right?
If I do that, then I'm done. I would just.
Yeah.
Or maybe I could have -1 knowledge and +1 guts.
If you wanted to. Or they could just be average. It's up to you.
Honestly, like your knowledge, like your skills, you need like more info on your backstory. So maybe just do the skills, like, and we'll, like, you can adjust knowledge maybe, like when we come back next time. If you come up with some skills and you're like, I need to put like more skills in.
Okay.
So maybe just save those 2 for next time and like do the skills.
Yeah, but this is like something like this.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, that's good. I think I'm really excited to see how your character does.
Yeah, I'm not sure. Is it okay if I have money? Like, would I still do this, you think? Or do I have to, like...
That's honestly what I'm kind of wondering, too.
Do I need to have some way that I lost all my money? Because I could do that.
I feel like we're kind of like a contract group that's... we're like hired by superheroes to, like, trash a neighborhood so that they have a reason to hire the superheroes for protection, right?
No. Something like that.
It's similar.
Everyone disagreed except us.
Yeah. So if that's what we're doing, I feel like maybe you're not in this for the money. You're in this for the opportunity to like fuck with people's heads.
I don't know if I want to do that though. I feel like I would just be really like ambivalent
right?
about people. Like everyone's running around controlled by their emotions that they think are important and core to them, and
but like
it's just I don't know. So malleable.
So there's a character in the antagonist of Jessica Jones' first season is this guy played by David Tennant called Kilgrave, and he has the ability he has some kind of like weird pheromones that enable him to just command he has essentially mind control. He can just be like, do this, and then they do it without like even questioning it, and so he just turns into an absolute sociopath, which I think was something that we were toying with earlier, and I think that you could really amp that up if you wanted to with your character.
No, I can see it. Maybe because I enjoy.
You can enjoy
sort
fucking
of thing Yash was talking about, proving that people who think that like their whole life is about X, just unwind it, unravel them.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, that could be good. That could motivate me. I'm just here to mess with people.
Yeah.
That's
cool. Brainstorm some reasons you might join also.
But maybe, I don't know, depending on what Brad said, maybe Brad can humanize me over time.
Yeah.
That'd be pretty cool.
Me.
Well, I thought of some ways that we could get roped in together, but it might not be the same exact way that you're thinking in terms.
Hello?
Hello?
Hello.
What did you say? You cut
out your voice cut out at the end.
Oh. No, I was just saying I have some ways for Kyle to tie into my backstory, perhaps not in a humanizing way, but I have ways for him to fit in if we want to go that route.
Well, not yet. Okay. Maybe the humanizing could be over the course of the story.
Right.
Embark on here. Or not. I don't know how evil we're going to be.
Can you imagine Pat coming back next week and everybody has paired off except for him?
It's happening.
He could be you know what he could be? He could be like the A-Team like mastermind guy who comes to everybody's house and like, I'm here to talk to you about the Avengers Initiative. So he brings us all together.
He's Charlie.
I was gonna say mascot.
Mascot.
He's Charlie.
He's the middle school high school president.
Yes, he is Charlie.
Why is he the mastermind? Oh man. No, see, okay, so Nicole, since you thought this was about something that it's not about, specifically, the story is about you guys you're kind of like actually like the undersiders in that like a separate person has hired all of you, but like you guys were not like together before. I mean, I guess you and Nick were together, but
so you guys are super excited when you both get hired independently.
Were we hired independently?
You guys show up and
Yash just said that. So.
No, I was thinking
of
it.
We're not doing that.
No, I said so you guys are not like a team before this guy like he puts together the team, except like Nicole and Nick apparently like did know each other, so maybe they came in together.
Maybe it's a thing like they hired Nick and Nick was like, yo, I got a job that you might be good for.
Yeah, that was something along the lines of what I was thinking of that could work.
Okay.
Yeah, so they're connected somehow. But like it's kind of like you guys don't know each other. You just are like hired by this one person, who like has hired you guys individually to become like a team with this goal of. I mean, like, I'll get into the specifics when the campaign starts, but like what you're specifically doing. But like you're basically trying to cause mayhem, to create demand for this like private security firm. So Detroit in real life, like in our world, the police are like garbage, obviously, right?
Yeah.
And like gangs run rampant and stuff. So like the
What?
wealthier neighborhoods have started paying private security companies to act as police officers instead. And this is pretty crazy because it's in America. So the idea is you guys are supposed to kind of like you're supposed to show that the heroes are ineffective, first of all, at protecting the people. And that kind of drives people towards this private security company. And also, well, yeah, that's enough for now, I guess. You guys will find
I mean, that wasn't that off from what I thought it was. I just thought that the private security company had, like, superpowered people working for it.
No, I mean, like, they're kind of banking on this idea of, like, being able to, like, repel capes.
They want to be better than the capes.
Okay.
Yeah, so, like, the superheroes in Detroit are, like, just, like, it's pretty much just the PRT. Like, and the PRT, it's kind of like being sent to, like, Detroit is like kind of like being sent to Antarctica. It's like they just don't want to see you anymore. Yeah, it's like a punishment, or like you're just washed up, right? So like they're not like bad people necessarily. I mean, maybe some of them are, but they're not all like bad or anything. But like they're just kind of like they just can't do this, right? Like they're just like in over their heads, and like they just half of them are probably just given up completely, right? So yeah, that's sort of like where you guys are at. So like you don't all have to be connected, and you can all be doing this for your own reasons. Like when I came up with it, I wrote that so like some of you might not really be that evil, like because you're not actually really hurting people necessarily. Like you can maybe if you want to, but like you're not necessarily actually like trying to hurt people. So like some of you might do it like if let's say like I don't know, let's say like if Sam was here, right? Like Sam wanted to be like like a good guy. Bless you. He could like kind of do this, and it's just kind of like an illusion. Like he's not really hurting people that much, right? But then the story starts, and like things kind of go along differently than the status quo. Or you could have someone like I don't know, like let's say Pat. I mean, okay, Pat's power doesn't really work like that. But let's say like if I was a player, right, and like I just want to be like just straight evil, right? Like I just want to like kill people like for breakfast, lunch, and dinner. It's like you can do this for money, and then you can also just like kill it on the side, right? But it's like nice, like I'm getting paid to like cause mayhem. I'll just get my like rocks off like when like in my spare time, right? So like you guys you're all united by just like this is a job, right?
Yeah.
Like you're not necessarily attached to each other in any way, but it's like a job for you guys, and you can all have different reasons for joining, and you can all do like your own things in your spare time or whatever. So, some of you might be like kind of not bad guys. Some of you might be just straight up despicable, evil. Some of you might be Brad, because I don't know what Brad does. So it's kind of up to you. You guys have freedom as long as you somehow fit into this team in that like you would do this kind of stuff. Like
you get contracts, you complete them, and then you get your money, and then you're off to do whatever the fuck you want. And the PMC is not going to
you're not like a mercenary team, though. Right?
Yeah.
Like you're not like the A team where like you're like together and people hire you as a team. It's just you guys have been paid individually to work together.
Yeah.
Yep. All right. Well, if we got were we gonna do Kyle's skills, or were we gonna wait on?
No, he needs to do his backstory a bit so that he can do that like over, and we can check it.
Okay. So do we want to call it for tonight?
That's fine by me.
Okay.
We can finish Brad too, but we have to do Pat anyways next week. So
yeah, we got.
If you guys want to hear my backstory, I can share it. We don't have to go into skills or anything.
Sure.
Okay. All right, let me pull it up. I don't think it's what anyone's expecting, which is exciting.
I'm ready to play the smallest violin in the world, Brad.
Or you can't on the edge of my seat. Yes.
All right. Alignment villain, age 28. Name pending Dilbo Daggins. Faction Suck It Yash, and also legendary Shadow Raiders.
Amazing.
I'm thinking I'm gonna play as. Oh,
you named your
woman.
female character Dildo?
No, it's Dilbo, and also it's named Penguin.
Very different, Yash.
Are you kidding me?
Look, okay, to be fair, and I'm surprised none of you caught this, my dude's name was Richard Cheyenne, which was just a very dumb, like, rewriting of Dick Cheney. So...
Oh my god.
See, I got the Dick part, but I didn't get the Cheyenne was supposed to be changed. I was thinking Cheyenne from, like, high school was, like, the worst for...
That's what I thought of, too, coincidentally.
Yash kept sending me text suggestions of just, like, the most god-awful names.
Put on blast!
Pat gave me a name. It's Terminal, which I like a lot.
Terminal sounds good.
Terminal Velocity.
Yeah. That is a good name.
Yeah. So the outfit, we'll start there. It's a custom skydive suit. Black, white, and electric blue.
Yash died.
Oh.
Yash, what the frick?
Not again.
He can read it. You got it on the screen.
Alright, I'll just continue reading it out loud. Includes a helmet with a darkened visor, stopping people from seeing in or where she's looking. The skydive suit includes small parachutes or fins or something, allowing her to slightly alter her trajectory without changing powers. And it's able to be equipped with a wingsuit.
Is that not a wing? Wait, what?
It's different, I think.
Oh, yeah. It's not. So the base suit is not like a flying squirrel suit, but you could attach flying squirrel suit wings to it if you want to. Okay.
Right.
Gotcha. What was your civilian clothes? Was it just normal clothing?
It was.
She wrote, where clothes goes. We'll come back to it later.
Blonde looks good with electric blue. I love it.
Love that. I love that. Just like that's the one detail you have.
It's true. Yeah.
All right, here we go. She didn't return home to her parents after her trigger event, which happened in Detroit, mind you guys. So
of course,
we're already there. Looking to get away from the toxic environment, she escaped to the streets of Detroit, where she struggled to find work. I think the trigger event happened sometime during like high school or something.
So her parents, they didn't live in Detroit, but they happened to be flying over the river near Detroit.
No, they lived in Detroit. They were protecting Detroit.
So how does... Okay, so I'm a little confused then. How is going back to Detroit getting away from her parents?
No, she never left Detroit. They went over Lake Erie and dropped her off, and then she didn't go back to her home. She just started wandering the streets of Detroit.
Nick, add Yash back to the stream.
Oh my god, how does this keep happening? Okay, hold on.
It's the hurricane, dude.
It's the... What hurricane? What are you talking about?
Yash has a hurricane in his house.
Oh, you're right. My bad. I forgot about that.
Alright, I'm back. Can you guys hear me?
Alright, welcome back.
Yep.
So, as I was saying, she struggled to find work. She began working as a street performer, using her powers to climb buildings, masquerading as magic. Over time, she realized this wasn't enough. The thrill of the fall, or perhaps the fear, had sparked something.
Ooh.
She started seeking out more and more dangerous activities, using her gravity control as a safety net. She climbed buildings, cliffs, and jumped off mountains. She made a name for herself in extreme sports communities, where she was then contacted by the team. She decided mercenary work would provide a significant enough thrill and joined up.
I like it. Have you heard of Mr. Miracle?
Yes,
you should look into him. I think you'd really find it interesting. He's kind of like this too, and his comic from like last year won like several awards. He's like an escape artist, kind of like yours, and it's like he keeps pushing, trying to get more of a thrill. And his like last trick was like trying to escape death, and like I think he tries to kill himself or something. I don't know. It was interesting. This is cool. I like it. It's a cool story.
Yeah.
Traits: impulsive, reckless, fearless, constantly greater, not, but still willing to do mercenary work in order to pursue greater and greater stunts.
So one thing, I mean, like we're not doing yours, but just something to think about is she has to, like when she's on the team, right? Like I'm assuming when she was like, you know, like a climber or whatever, right? Like a performer, like she was kind of known, right? Like people like knew who she was. So when she is on the team, you might want her to be using her powers like in a way that looks different, so that people can't just clock her as like, oh, look at that, it's Dilbo Daggins, right?
Yeah.
So like your power is really versatile anyways. So like you should try and like think about that like when you're
like when you're fighting or whatever, like how you could kind of use your power maybe in ways that are different, like where people wouldn't be able to just like identify you.
Yeah, I know. I'm thinking about that. Did you hear about the appearance, Yash?
No.
Okay. Custom skydive suit, black, white, and electric blue. The suit has a helmet with a darkened visor. The suit includes small parachutes or fins or something, allowing her to alter her trajectory in the air slightly without using her powers. And it can be equipped with a wingsuit.
Okay.
Yeah.
Cool.
So that's that. And Kyle, what I was thinking was sometime during the backstory, street performing becomes not enough. It becomes about seeking the thrill. So when you started talking about how that's where the tie-in is, but I don't know exactly what or if that needs to be a tie-in. But if there is, that's where it would be.
You guys should definitely lab that together, just like either through text chat or.
Okay, so what I think it would be is like Kyle, you kind of just see emotions as like kind of like not important, right? And like people's long-term goals or whatever, it doesn't matter. It's kind of like what you feel in the moment, right? But you in general kind of disconnected from your emotions, maybe. Mm-hmm. So when you see Brad perform or Dilbo perform,
Dilbo Daggins.
We are absolutely all gonna call you Dildo.
That's not the real name. It's name pending.
Her name is so Miss Pending, right? You see her perform, and she like you kind of like she's like about thrill, right? She's got like one thing, but like even in that moment, right? That's kind of like what she feels like when you like kind of see her. So it's kind of like you see someone who has like just kind of like a single emotion that drives them so intensely, and it's kind of like I kind of want to understand that, right?
Like, ooh,
and then there's like a
Curious,
beautiful love story where Dilbo and
yes.
I don't even know what your name was, Kyle. What is your name?
I didn't have one at all. Names
so
are always
Dilbo
like
and Anonymous end up together.
Names are for people who have emotions, and emotions are stupid.
God, that's awful.
Mispending and Anonymous, a match made in heaven. God bless. Okay, alright. It's been 2 hours or more than at this point, so I'm gonna call it. I will say, just because we keep... there have now been 5... Is this 6? Is this 5? I don't remember.
Not ever gonna have
a lot of... Yeah, it's been a lot of character creation. We haven't gotten to the real sessions. And also... I guess more importantly, I'm going to be moving into my new apartment next Wednesday, so I definitely won't be able to stream. If you guys want to do... Yeah. Thanks. I'm looking forward to it. But
you should stream the move.
I will not do that. I will not have anything set up for that. But
bro, dude.
To if we either want to if we could maybe just do the rest of it offline, or if you guys want to record it, I can just upload it to YouTube after the fact if you guys just record the Discord call, or if you want to I've just been throwing my VODs up there. It's not really much of a YouTube presence.
I'll subscribe.
You haven't subscribed to me? I subscribed to you, bro.
YouTube channel, Nick. What is it?
It's Rapto 5050. I can't change that for some reason.
Really? Well,
yeah, it doesn't let me.
Your brand is all scattered. I apologize.
I know. I gotta
couldn't
reorganize.
find you. I've now subscribed.
Yeah, I might honestly.
It just says you're Dante on YouTube, but
might but if you look at the URL.
Yeah, but like no one looks at that.
Yeah.
It's all good.
But yeah, if you guys, if any of you guys want, because it's just streaming like a Discord call, you know. So like, if any of you guys want to stream that, I can just host you on Discord on Twitch, and then the stream will happen at the same time or whatever. I'm just not going to be able to stream it, so I won't be there for next week's session. And then the week after, then at that point, hopefully all of this prep will be done, and then the first actual session I can then stream again on my channel on my own time.
Cool.
So if that, I don't know what you guys want to do, but those are all just options. So I'm just letting everybody know. But anyways, I guess I will cut the stream for now. Thanks for watching. Still on hiatus otherwise, spending time with my family. As you can tell, I am not at my usual spot. So, oh shit. Okay, never mind. That's fine. But yeah, so I'll be on hiatus and also figuring out a new streaming schedule. So please stay tuned for that. I'll probably post about it in the Discord. But until then, I will see you guys sometime in the future, probably at my new apartment. So look forward to that.
Cool.
Thanks for watching. Au revoir. Stop the stream.